Wow, that new transition is kind of sweet. Anyway, welcome back to AML. It is CLE here with Maloney. Welcome on in. So glad to have you.
Thank you very much. I'm once again, it's week 2 of AML already. I'm really excited to see how everybody's going to do.
Absolutely. And this is the Aegis Marauder League Challenge, or GrandMasters and Master players going at it. Some fantastic TFT. Really looking forward to it. So glad you guys are here, sticking around. It's great.
Of course. And as we're about to go into predictions, I believe, for Lobby 1, we got a few, like, I don't know, what do you say? Yeah, I'd say a few contenders on the go. We got Moldiver Maniac, we got Nazrat, we got Pajaro, Purple Pouring, Risner, Max Seton, JY, and TA's the Crazy Pete here. I'm just looking at the list. We will have the collected predictions soon in just a second. If you don't know how that goes, it's nothing too crazy. It's Lawrence's predictions, then the staff's predictions, then, pardon me, the caster's predictions, along with you guys. The community gets to predict up in the Discord itself there. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how it goes. Right now, if I remember correctly, the casters are in the lead by a fair bit compared to everybody else. I might be wrong again. We shall see, but right now, CLE, bring it in.
Absolutely. These are our predictions for this week. We have a fantastic lobby today, and the community thinks the set 7 AML champion is going to come out on top. Purple Pouring being at the top of the community's list is no surprise. Fantastic player. Really looking forward to that. Connor dies last, Tarzan being third, and Pajaro being fourth, which, we're all over the place today in predictions.
Oh, absolutely. The casters themselves, 12 points in. They got Pajaro. I believe he was an AML finalist for set 7.5. Nazrat, a.k.a. Tarzan, second place. Purple Pouring with third. And, of course, TA Crazy Pete. With how TA's been performing a little bit in the AML, they decided to kind of tone it down just a tiny bit. You know, not the top spot anymore, but that could change here. As we go over to staff with 8 points here. Nazrat topping the board right here with Purple Pouring, the fan favorite, second place. Crazy Pete at third, and JY on fourth. And for Lawrence, let's see what we got there, CLE.
Well, Lawrence not being the best at predictions, you should just see all of these people and then put them in your bot for probably.
You know,
but that's just because of Lawrence, not because of them as players, just because of Lawrence.
That is true, but we do have a couple of similarities. It seems like Lawrence has been copying everybody else recently, just hoping to maybe get some more points. We got Purple Pouring and the Crazy Pete in there as well, but one that's really caught me off guard, apparently top of the leaderboards in the Brazilian scene, Moldiver main. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how that goes, to see if he's able to clutch it out. Moldiver Maniac, sorry. His name is so big that we weren't able to put all of it in.
Yeah, not able to quite get a whole name in, but they're a really good player. I was doing some research on them earlier, and they're just absolute fantastic. Really looking forward to them. But the person I'm looking forward to the most is someone we've seen a lot here in our Aegis competitions, but may not be who you're thinking. Pajaro is one of my favorite players to watch. They are from Argentina. So, and Argentina is the best Latin American region, as we did find out a few weeks ago in the tournament that they ran. It was, I think it was Argentina versus Brazil, and Argentina won. So, anyway, that's besides the point. They got third place in set 7.5 in the AML and just continue to perform well. So, expecting nothing less from them today.
Oh, absolutely. I remember having the pleasure of commentating Pajaro in set 7.5 AML and set 7.5, and they had a bit of a rough start, but was able to stabilize with the 4 Dragons comp and was just get 2 very convincing wins and to get themselves into the next week, and then clutched it out once again to get the finals. And I believe you said third place in the AML set 7.5. That's pretty good, not gonna lie. So yeah, excited to see how they do.
High performer. And speaking of high performers, we have to mention Purple Pouring, who was on each of our top 5s in those predictions, was a champion, did play in the ACL last set, wanted to come back down to the AML. You know, it makes sense. And continues to do well. They're doing pretty well. They're in the middle of the pack. They're at 16th currently on the leaderboard for the Aegis Marauder League. So looking forward to put themselves back in the top.
Absolutely. So I'm just looking at everything here, and one Player that also stood out to me, of course, is residential Aegis regular Tarzan. I believe he was your doubles partner for that one beta tester. But here we go. Nothing matters anymore. We're in game one right now for AML here. Nothing too crazy. We're going to be following the fan favorite Purple Pouring this time around just for a bit. CLE, what do you expect from this? We got a glove, belt, and the tier starter.
This is currently my least favorite carousel.
Yeah.
Like all of these items are just not really it. I mean, I really like belt right now. I love all the tank items, but if you get a tier or a glove, I'm not even sure what you do with that. Nothing to really write home about.
See, I kind of agree with you. The glove is what I would usually go for. I could potentially go for a Last Whisper or an Infinity Edge or Jeweled Gauntlet, but it's not as good as they were kind of in the last set in 7.5, in my opinion. So it's not really excited. I wanted to see more bows or swords or anything else, and you can't get that in that type of carousel.
Absolutely. Boring keeps zooming in on his Dango, and he just knows that we are all here for the Dango. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I love that Purple Pouring's avatar is just a dango with no ears, just kind of like almost like a Ditto as well, like a Pokemon. But we see Crazy Pete's board, nothing too crazy. This is, as I say, time and time again, Stage 1 and Stage 2, not the most exciting, but one of the most important. Now's your time to go collect those pairs. We see Crazy Pete with pairs of Silas, Gangplank, and Ash. A lot of people kind of complain how they have a hard time win streaking in round 2, and this is the way to do it. You try to find the strongest board possible. Might not have the best synergies, but if you get them to start, they have a lot more kill power and board presence pretty much.
Yeah, but we're now on board with Tarzan, who has a really strong start already. Has a Draven and a 2-star and a 3-cost. So not a bad spot, but we are going to get a 2-1 hero augment. Wow, Tarzan with the really quick pick of everyone goes boom, giving some extra attack speed to the team. So interesting to see that. We'll probably end up going an Anima Squad route.
Yeah, I'm surprised that that Tarzan went so quickly with it. But we go to Max Seconds board, gets what I believe to be the Raider Spoils variant, which is pretty solid. Could definitely go an underground spot. As soon as I say that, I see no Kale, so that's not on the go for right now. He's not even okay. He's trying to figure out right now where to possibly put Ezreal right now. Because, you got Brawler Duelist. What are you going to sacrifice? Decides to sacrifice bench the Vi right now. Nothing too crazy. 3 Duelists with an Ezreal. Ezreal's probably, going to stay there and is going to give Vi a possible Ornn item like a tanky one like Anima Visage or Winter's, that Winter one. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
Just to stay in the fight.
I love giving Raider Spoils to the front line to give those extra tank items, and specifically the one that he got right there. It is the ultimate rat move, getting that blitz pull on your front line, especially when nobody knows it's coming, right? It's not even on your board before the round starts. As soon as it starts, all of a sudden, your carry's gone.
Honestly, I treat Ezreal kind of like Raider Spoils sometimes. Like I kind of treat Rocket Grab. I kind of just have 2 carries in the corner and just the most important one kind of not out right in the corner, just so that if one does get pulled, it's not the end of the world. So, but yeah, it's rat. It's very annoying to play against, but kudos to them. I also believe it's almost like a 1 in 3rd chance anyway, so you're not always going to get pulled, but it doesn't hurt to reposition for that just in case.
Absolutely doesn't hurt to reposition. Now does go and slam that Runin's Hurricane, a very flexible AD item for many carries. As you see, it slammed on the other side as well for Purple Pouring, who I believe has Spirit of the Exile. As you see that Vi get pinged because of the rat that item is.
You got Rocket Propel, baby.
Oh, absolutely cringe on the side of Max Second. As he does take a loss there, as Purple Pouring's board is pretty solid, especially early in this game.
So we go back over to Purple Pouring's board. We do see a Kaisa, an Ashe, so 2 Recons, and 3 Laser Cores, which is pretty solid. I like it a lot. The front line is a tad weak, Pouring could possibly sell a bit, decides to go 10, debating on buying Rammus. Just why not? A solid frontliner, doesn't really have much levels to put in. You could possibly sell the Wukongs and put in Rammus. What a clutch move there by Pouring in the span of a half a second. Just, they might be listening to us, Sealy.
Yeah, maybe just absolutely spams that level up button to go to level 5 to try and beat this board, which I'm sure is the one he was concerned about. Tarzan's board being a pretty strong one as well, going down easily to this level 5 board from Pouring.
Yeah, honestly, it never hurts to go for that level 5 gambit at 2-3, especially even if you just run them over. We see Purple Pouring losing, but it's just a good way to circumvent at least a little bit of flip-flopping that we call it. You'd rather kind of win for a bit, streak up a little bit, rather than, go win, loss, because you lose out on a lot of money that way.
Absolutely. And it's kind of crazy that no one is at 100 HP. Everyone has lost. Pouring looking to streak to the rest of this, but still did lose at 2-1. So no one will be 100 streaking this game. There will be no Mr. 100, but we may see Pouring still streak for the rest of this round to get that extra gold in the bank.
Absolutely, never hurts. Honestly, as I said before, you'd rather streak now than go back and forth winning. But we go over to JY's board. We're seeing a fair bit of duelists, which is understandable, extremely solid, but you're in a little bit of a weird spot now. You do have Spirit of the Exile, but you don't have the ability really to slam Locket on Nyla. But so you got to ask yourself, is it going to be worth it down the line, to have this augment still in? But who knows?
Yeah, Spirit of the Exiles with specifically Exiles is like one of the highest win rate combinations in the game, because you just position people apart and they get a big shield, which is exactly what duelists need to ramp up. And also Spirit of the Exile giving some of that extra attack speed as well. But will JY be able to take this round? Does not appear like it. This Vayne early on will take the round win.
Yeah, that's huge now. If I remember correctly, they kind of buffed Vayne's attack damage ratios a little bit, so she does benefit more from items like Deathblade and Infinity Edge. So, of course, having that Runaan's and Infinity Edge just going to kill a lot of people in such a short amount of time. But, JY's board could pop off as soon as they get the pairs on the go. You got a pair for Gangplank, a pair for Kale, but it's just looking around right now just to see possibly at 82 HP, you're flip-flopping a tiny bit. It's not the end of the world, but it's just like, you got to ask yourself, like, if I do win this next one, am I going to have a strong enough board to keep going? But we see on the other side what seems to be possibly Moldiver Maniac with a 2-star Camille right out the gate here. But still in last place. That's wild. I could definitely see them win streaking with Hextech Retribution there, giving more damage to more of your teammates dying. So, but never mind. As soon as I say that, Moldiver gets ran over.
I'm also quite surprised that they are loss streaking, which I would imagine is a 4-loss streak. Purple Pouring did end up win streaking through the end of stage 2 to get that 4-win streak. So they're very excited about that, sitting pretty with some extra income coming in. We're on board now with Max Second, who has now slammed that IEs we saw take a round win, but also has Underground in as of last round.
Yeah, not only do they have Underground, they got a Sona 2, a Vi 2, an Ezreal. I don't know if it's still an Ezreal 1, but a GP 2, a really solid econ building frontline there, along with, Vi 2 getting whatever type of tanky Ornn item that Ezreal gives her, with the Vayne in the back with a glove, potentially just needs a bow, and that's, dang, definitely gonna be in a good spot. They could definitely use try to grab a bow at the carousel, and get full build Vayne right out the gate. That's pretty good. Just needs to find more pairs. Oh, go right ahead.
This board has the ability to cap really high, especially with Underground able to give them some stacks, but they're going to continue winning rounds, I would imagine. So Underground will take a while to get stacked up, especially with 3 2-stars on your board, including a 2-star 3 cost. So we'll take a lot of these round wins, which I'm not sure they're quite looking to stack up Underground.
Yeah, my guess is that they're looking for that one route where they just kind of constantly cash out at heist one to get that 10
Mhm.
gold, potentially get like a reforger or an item remover, and and just go that way until they find bigger units like Samira, more aces, better sure shots, etc., to kind of transition out of that and into a stronger build.
Definitely plenty of options to play. We do see early Anima Squad for Tarzan. And, I know Tarzan personally, and Anima Squad is one of his favorite comps right now.
Mhm.
Uh, as, the infinite stacking like Lagoon was last set, or so many other traits that have been in TFT. But we'll start to lose a couple of rounds here. We'll lose this round to the Crazy Pete on the other side.
Yeah, so like my gripe with Anima Squad right now is that the only scaling is that it's health. And it's nothing really too much to get excited for, in my opinion. Maybe I just need to play it more and just, see the benefits go off. But it's like right now, Tarzan's got a bonus of 5
Mhm.
on the Anima Squad at 3-2. So he's going to have to do a lot more killings in order to get that up. But cybernetic uplink and a jinx too now. That's
Ooh.
not too bad. Goes straight to 6, 24 econ. Got a decent amount of people on the board. A Ramus, a couple of Anima squads. Defenders deciding to roll down to 20 econ is in fact fake for the most part. Shouldn't roll down to 0, but I've kind of noticed, CLE, that a lot of people's been kind of rolling down a lot more at 3-2.
Well, especially being at a spot where you're not win streaking or lose streaking, you need to kind of commit one way or the other. So, hoping to upgrade this board, which he did a little bit, will help a lot. But this board on the other side is at 40 gold, has fantastic items for renegades,
Hmm.
is absolutely running over this board from Tarzan, as this Talon's going to hop on to this Jinx here shortly. And I imagine almost one shot. Yep, there it is. These renegades are quite strong.
Yep. That's the thing about it. It's like it's only 3 renegades, and they actually got nerfed slightly, going down from 40% more damage to 35%. But that doesn't mean too much. It's just funny that we saw them kind of struggling a little bit before here, but we got both Samira and Miss Fortune. The world's their oyster right now for purple pouring. They're just figuring out what exactly to do. Decides to go for a sure shot angle right now, and it looks like they sold the Misfortune as well. So only time can tell to see how hard this team scales.
Yeah, these items absolutely scream a Samira build. There's not really a ton of great AP items for this Misfortune to scale off of,
Mm,
but hoping to take more round wins as they have Laser Core in, Recon in, Sure Shot. So tons of damage, not a ton of frontline for Purple Pouring, but it's
yeah.
able to be enough with that sustain.
Oh, absolutely. I could definitely see, Hodge, Runan's Guardbreaker being not too bad on Samira at all. You probably want to see a little bit more like a Last Whisper per se, but only having just a spare rod, it's going to take them a little while to, possibly get a Last Whisper on deck. Pouring could possibly get that bow or that glove and possibly get another complementing component at 3-7 through Wolves, but goes for
Very
the sword instead.
possible.
Oh,
Does
sorry.
go for the extra AD there. It is
Mm,
a fantastic choice to continue to ramp up this Samira. Wants to make a giant slayer for sure.
okay.
But something I want to call out about Purple Pouring is they did pretty good last week. They're at
Mm,
16th on the current standings, which is pretty good out of 40 people, but they really want to put themselves into the top 8 to be in the best position. But you know
mm.
who is in a good position right now? The Crazy Pete.
Yeah.
92 HP, a Cho 2 in the front line, a Vayne 2 in the back line. He's chilling.
Oh yeah, definitely. You got a Sunfire Cape there as well. Goes straight up to 7 to put in that ASO from even more anti-heal to just to reach the back line where Poppy can't. Pete's definitely in a good spot right here.
Yeah, he is big chilling. Level 7, 30 gold. So fairly rich as well. Able to level to get these better odds. Also able to put in a fantastic unit to provide anti-heal and will absolutely run over any board he sees, I imagine. This Vayne on the other side, though having good items, is not going to do enough damage.
Mm.
But Pete's board absolutely deserves to be on fire.
Yeah, and it's definitely a very momentum-heavy build. You get more attack speed when you kill somebody, which is pretty good because of everybody goes boom. He's getting a set online now. Now he's got to think to himself, I just got to keep that there and maybe find some more Wukongs, maybe find either like a Leona or a Jax too. Try to get that mech set online, and then definitely have a much better front line there. But as we go over to Max second here, decides to go for that underground cash out possibly for that cut and run, only at underground 3, so nothing too crazy. So I definitely would recommend the 10 gold and the Reforger. Still not a bad haul.
I was really hoping for them to continue, especially being 12 out of 10. You just set that back to 0. You didn't take the extra 2. That makes me a little sad, but it's fine. It makes sense for the econ. They're now at 62 gold, looking to level here shortly after these neutral rounds. But this round will be huge. Do they want to win or to lose? Are they going to take out Underground after this? We will see here shortly. On the other side, we do see a classic recon board with that Kaisa with Gold Collector, which actually is a fantastic item on there. The Vayne able to clutch out the round for Max second, so only able to get 2 more stacks on that Underground as we head into our Wolves round.
Yeah, this is a pretty good spot there for Max second, 74 HP, and kind of in the middle of the pack here. Has 2 copies of Yasuo on standby, but possibly just wants maybe a Warmogs on their Vi, possibly on a set down the road, or somebody more tankier. He's just scouting right now, nothing too crazy. We see Renegades, we see Recons, we see Duelists, we see a little bit of Cho'Gath on a couple of boards, Nothing, even though, it's 3-7 right now, but it's nothing too crazy. Nothing too out of the ordinary, nothing too high roll right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, no one really committing to much yet. We haven't seen too much, even though it was a 2-1 hero augment. We have somebody that clearly committed to Renegades, as we see a Viego in the shop. But not too much past that. Not too many people committing to other things. We do get a Misfortune in the shop at level 7. There's a lot of forecasts coming through here for Max second as he's rolling down to try and get some direction. Able to find a Zed as well. Selling all of his underground units. Got good Zed items, so curious to see if they're able to swap those over. We'll chill with 4 Duelist and 2 Recon in, as you have to keep that Ezreal in for Raider Spoils.
Absolutely. We're going up against, I believe, the Renegade one with Moldiver Maniac here. The Talon right in the front line leaps right into the Vayne, almost kills her, but just no dice there. Stuck on the gangplank now. Leaps once again, takes out the Silas there, but still hacking away. Trades with the Vayne, but it doesn't seem too good for Max second because of the Renegades and Sejuani. And as soon as I say that, it's now 2v1. The Aurelion Soul gets all those hits in, but this is still not looking good for the Zac. This what seems to be what I thought was going to be a win for Max second just turned out to be a decent win for Moldiver Maniac with that Asol being the MVP, just clutching out those meteors in the back.
Yeah, the Talon dash into the backline, jump into the backline, absolutely, and assassinating everything back there is not good, but we do have a gold augment choice here to finish our augments for the game. Makeshift armor being a clear pick for Max second, as they do not have a ton of frontlines items. So we'll be swapping over to a Samira carry, it appears. Or, nope, just kidding. They're going for the Zed carry instead. I was curious to see which one they were going to choose. So we'll go with the Duelist route. We'll want to get Hacker in as well to build this board, but not having a ton of frontline. But Makeshift armor is pretty big. Purple Pouring on the right side, as we see, is win streaking again. So good for them to continue that highest HP. We have Tarzan down at the bottom of the lobby. Not too much in danger, but we'll jump on board with them now as they have an Urgot on level 7.
Wow, that's wild. It also looks like a potential Misfortune too, as well. So it's definitely eating good right now, despite being at 35 HP. But they did get hit here. I am kind of concerned about that Belveth, though. The sure shot with Last Whisper and IE, but doesn't get anything off of it. Takes him out with the greatest of ease at 25 stacks. Nothing too crazy, but Nazrat's not in too much danger as we see JY fall below.
Yeah, these augments here from Tarzan are fantastic. Maxime Arc is one of the best augments to have when you play Misfortune, because oftentimes she can cast once, kill 3 or 4 units, and then be almost ready to cast once again. So that is really good showing from them. Obviously, having Cybernetic Uplink helps provide that as well. So I wonder if they're wanting to go a mech route or stay with 5 Anima squad. Whatever their choice is, they have a lot of damage in the back line, just need to shore up that front line.
Yeah, I kind of noticed the rod stuck on the Urgot might be possibly if he gets a spat, slams it straight on Urgot for a little bit more damage and survivability, but it doesn't seem too crazy right now. We got the undertow going here, but as soon as Misfortune blasts off, I think that's going to be a wrap, but I think Tarzan's going to even do well without that. Only one ult this time around, only one ult needed to take out Crazy Pete's board.
Yeah, Crazy Pete having 50 gold really hasn't rolled down yet at all, and obviously facing this board from Tarzan, who has rolled all of his gold, makes a little bit of sense there that Tarzan is stronger. So Pete's chilling, looking to go level 8 and roll down there for his 4 costs.
No worries. As we see everybody getting their people off the carousel, we see a Samira with a sword. That's a pretty solid pick up there. A Ramus with a belt, a Jano with a tier. That's pretty nice finds there. It's pretty much just not too bad right now. Just 1 second. We're
spinning.
We are spinning. We are stuck in time. Screen. I don't. There we go. It was just Tarzan's screen. Crisis averted there. As we go over to our Brazilian representative, Moldiver Maniac here with a Viego LeBlanc type hybrid with a few Aegises, with Renegades as well. I am a little bit perplexed by this board, but I also do like it. We're seeing a fair bit of Misfortune, so it's smart to have Aegises on the field. So, as we go right ahead.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite boards in the lobby right now. This Sure Shot Belveth 2 with IE Last Whisper will absolutely do a billion damage to people, especially with Thrill of the Hunt, especially with that Knife's Edge, but will get absolutely deleted because of a well-placed Zephyr on the other side. So it immediately took the aggro, and we'll take a huge loss here, down to 19 HP already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty rough for Risner. I really do like the creativity with this build, but unfortunately, because the set was Zephyred, everybody had eyes on the Belveth. The Thrill of the Hunt one did not mean squat at all, but we do see the set 2 alive now. So as long as they're able to, get set going and not Zephyred, he's definitely going to be looking a lot better.
Absolutely. Set 2 coming in will be huge. Now rolling down for hopefully Samira 2 or Echo 2 in the front line would be a huge addition there. Not able to quite find it. We're looking to hopefully win this round. He's got no gold at level 7, so he's not really pushing for a top 1 here, but will face a really strong board with lots of units on the other side. A set as well, but not a set 2. A Vayne 2, though, being in the back line. I'm not sure whose board this is on the other side, but it is quite strong. Curious to see if this Belveth can do enough damage.
That's the scary thing about it. Even though the set was only set 1 on the other board, it was JY's board by the looks of it, and it's just caving in right now. It's just the Vayne versus Belveth, but as soon as I say that, it's not JY's board. My apologies, but it was Crazy Pete's board. I should have known. We went to his board there before with a second win in the Stand United, so pardon me for not getting that, but as we move on over to Crazy Pete's board, here we are. Set 1, Samira 1, Jinx 2. We got the Mordekaiser, but still needs 1 more ace.
Yeah, Pete is getting ready to put in 4 more ace. Just needs that Draven, which sometimes is quite elusive, especially on level 8, rolling for that 2 cost. It's often difficult to find, but has okay items for this, but with 4 ace, you don't really need perfect items because it just does so much damage, so much execution coming in there from those units. So at 40% HP, I believe it still is, or is it 30% now?
30. Yeah, it was 40 before. No way. I don't think it was
on PBE at least.
Oh, so, boy, yeah.
Sells the Samira and will find a Draven there in the shop. So will be looking put in for Ace, needs to switch out. Yeah, will sack his hero augment. No, decides to take out Riven instead.
Yep. So on the bright side about this, he does replace the Cho'Gath with an Echo 2 here, which is pretty good. I am a little bit confused as to see why he sold his Samira just to put the same items on it again. Maybe just to put the Titan's Resolve, I think, on somebody else. I think he had
Was
Titan's
on the
Resolve.
set, yep.
It was on the set, yep. So still struggling pretty hard against this Laser Corpse build there. You know, we see another Samira there. I'm trying to figure out who that was, but it was Purple Pouring, of course. I can't miss that dango anywhere there. But
yeah, another well-placed Zephyring that set in the front line continues to be problematic for many people in this game. When that front line's gone, your back line just dies because the units can just walk up there and start hitting it. So able to find a Mordekaiser 2 on 8 for Crazy Pete, but no Samira 2, no Misfortune 2. Swaps out that to put that item to put it on Mordekaiser 2, which I would strongly recommend. Able to find another Misfortune in the shop. Imagine he'll sell some of these Jaxes for that.
Oh, absolutely. It's that's the thing about it. Samira is a very contested unit. We see some Samiras on the bench. We see, I believe that's Tarzan holding down a few Samiras as well, hoping to get that beloved Ace 4 comp online as well. But the Skylines come down, does a little bit of damage and healing, but not enough here. This is like the 14th time I've seen Tarzan with Fiddlesticks. Unfortunately, it doesn't do too much, but the Misfortune, preventing a lot of casualties, some collateral damage. But this could be doable for Tarzan still.
It will be doable for the Crazy Pete. Crazy Pete does take that round win, does not buy that Misfortune. Oh no, so close. Pete, come on. You needed that. That's okay. It's a simple mistake. Mort Dog's got him, right?
Yeah, possibly.
Or maybe Lawrence has got him. We'll see. But Pete looking and sitting pretty here, now able to hit that Samira 2 to get that extra damage in. We hop over on board with our 3 HP representative, Risner, with probably the most creative board in this lobby with that Belveth 2 there with these AD items. Curious to see if they can actually clutch out this win to possibly move them up in the standings. Won't be taking 8th because JY did go out there, but this Zed Duelist board on the other side could be too much.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's all based off of if Zed can touch the Belveth there, but Belveth does move around every time she ults. The Fiddlestick goes in to slow her down a little bit, but it seems like the front line is just being overwhelmed now by the set and the Belveth. Still, the Belveth is not touching the set, leaving Zed for last, and that's going to bite her right in the butt. Ooh. And as soon as I say that, I'm completely wrong. The Thrill of the Hunt clutches out that win for Risner.
Yeah, that Thrill of the Hunt was absolutely critical there. Ace Spat being an option on this carousel. Everyone is going to want that. Many of our top players in this lobby have 4 Ace in, so able to drop one of those units if they so choose. Static Shiv also being a great item. Many more of these spats. We got a Spellslinger spat being the choice. I can't tell who that is who got the Ace spat, but that's going to be huge for them.
So I'm going to squint, and that is Tarzan that got it. That's huge. Doesn't have to worry about finding the Draven anymore. If they already have, that's great. But you're going to be able to replace that with a much stronger unit. So good stuff to them. Risner going for the Chalice of Harmony here, the ice cream cone. That caught me off guard. But most of his carries kind of have full build already, so just decides to just slap it on the Yasuo just for extra. Doesn't seem too bad, but right now he's still lacking on the Echo 2, still lacking on the Samira 2. We'll see how long the 3 HP in a dream lasts.
Yeah, and has Spirit of the Exile, so those aura items are far from effective, but we do have a Mordekaiser 2 and 4 Ace on the other side here. Will be really challenging to beat for Risner if they can get through this front line early, which it may look like it will, but 4 Ace will execute that Belveth and will send them out here in 7th place, I imagine, as the backline now dead as well. Just a set versus the world will not be enough. Risner will drop out, will die of Annie.
With the Panda Chunk. What kind of upsets me a little bit is that I can kind of understand why some people are a little bit more reluctant to play Belveth, because The Belveth went straight into the skylines and got executed with the greatest of ease. That's definitely not what you want to see from your main carry. It also didn't help that, everybody else was playing Samira. So Risner did have a bit of a hard time trying to close out that Samira too. So as we go over to Pouring's board right now, debating selling that Samira now, has a Leona on the bench with one of her best items, in my opinion, the rapid fire cannon, decides to put it on Zed.
Yeah, Zed giving 6 laser core here and dropping one of those sure shots. The sure shot, Zach in the front line is definitely best in slot. As we see it just absolutely roll Crazy Pete's board. I am incredibly surprised by this. I really would not have thought that would have done anything. I was memeing on it, but then it absolutely destroyed that board.
Yeah, it's just the laser corps was just able to plow through Crazy Pete's board and give him just the option to close it out. They also was a good placement by Zach Zephyr, was able to pretty much just mitigate some of their front line and let Zed sneak in. So good stuff to Pouring there.
And we do have our top 4 now. Purple Pouring sitting at the top at 28, Tarzan at 27, Moldiver Maniac, I believe, at 25, and Crazy Pete at 20. So we probably will have at least 2 or 3 more rounds to go in this match, and it will be an exciting end with everybody within 8 HP.
Yeah, I'm saying it's going to be around just that perfect spot of 3. I definitely believe it's going to be like 6-1, 6-2, and then right before the carousel, I think we're going to have our winner.
I imagine we will see our winner soon. Ooh, a Fiddlesticks being found here for Pouring. One of the best frontline CCers in the game, able to find, though, that Z2, which will be a lot of extra damage and is extremely helpful. This future sight is in hand, so it will be Tarzan versus Purple Pouring and Moldiver Maniac versus the Crazy Pete. Does go ahead and slot in this Fiddlesticks for extra frontline. Crazy Pete finding that upgraded set 2 heading into this fight. Really looking forward to see if they can get these double Zephyrs onto priority units. It will hit that Misfortune in the back line. It will only hit a Wukong in the front line. Oh, it does miss the Misfortune. It loses the 50-50. Not able to hit that, but will slow down this Jinx here. Misfortune ult coming through, deleting a lot of the front line, but it won't be enough. This Zed's still alive, being a huge aircraft carrier, but will get executed by the ace Misfortune, who is still casting. What is happening?
So we mentioned before about Axiom Arc on Misfortune. Ooh. It looked like she was about to lose, but then just killed everybody.
Yeah.
Refilled her mana bar and just went to town again with the greatest of ease. As we go over to Nazrat's board, also known as Tarzan, that was the board that clutched out against, I believe, the Crazy Pete. Or no, Purple Pouring. I'm getting memory loss already now, but. It's Tarzan still in a really good spot here. Solid front line, nothing too crazy, no mechs on the go, but you don't really need it when you have a Misfortune and a Samira 2 in the back line.
No mech, but this fully stacked 3 anima that he's had since 2-1 will be providing a lot of extra HP. This ace spat that he found on Carousel is absolutely carrying him through this late game, but who will take this round win? The Crazy Pete or Tarzan, both with 4 ace. Both with really strong boards, but the Samira on the backline for Crazy Pete does go down. This Misfortune is completely untouched, but this Mordekaiser 2 on the other side is doing a ton of damage. Will Misfortune get another cast off to do enough? It will get another cast off, but it was not enough damage to kill the entire board. Jinx with one more cast, but won't be enough. Crazy Pete, though, does stay alive and in this game ready to fight.
Yeah, that was wild. The biggest thing is that the Mordekaiser triggered the Edge of Night through the first ult, but then it missed completely with the Skylines. Did not touch Misfortune at all. That gave Misfortune more than enough time to get that another ult revved and roaring and basically just wiped out the rest of the board. Just left the Jinx, and but against a Jinx with basically no items, that was kind of free. And Tarzan was able to clutch that out with the greatest of ease.
Able to clutch that out, able to position this Fiddlesticks at a very good spot, but this really strong Viego on the other side with really good items is super strong. On to the Misfortune now. Will trigger that Zanya's are ready, but Misfortune Cats once again absolutely healing them up and farming gold for them as well. Where did all that gold come from? Oh, from the Urgot, absolutely destroying. Will take down Moldiver Maniac there, I believe, in third place. Crazy Pete also still going. Will he beat the Ghost board? We will see. The Ghost of Moldiver Maniac will beat Crazy Pete, so it will be a double kill. Tarzan taking our round win. Crazy Pete out in second. Moldiver Maniac there in third. And Purple Pouring in fourth place.
That was so clutch there. Good stuff by Tarzan there. But you know what's the crazy thing? Besides the placement of my headphones there, I guessed it right. Tarzan takes the win right at the carousel there. It only took him 3 rounds to take out 3 other people. So good stuff there. I believe now we're going to take a 5-minute break in just 1 second. And of course, we'll see you back in just a moment. Of course, I'm Maloney and this is CLE. See you guys soon. Welcome back, everybody, to Game 2 of Aegis Marauders League. Right now, I'm Mashup Maloney hosting, joined again by CLE here. Last game was pretty nuts right now. Tarzan was able to clutch it out there with the 4 aces with the Urgot, and of course, I'm definitely excited to see what Tarzan again has in store. But, how's things with you, CLE?
It's good. It was crowd favorites, Crazy Pete and Purple Pouring, able to both top 4 as well. More Diver Maniac also clutching a really good top 4 there in the top 3. Barely missed on getting second. But it happens. They both died at the same time, just one a little bit less. So Crazy Pete able to pull that out. But when we're talking about these people, let's see how well we did at predicting these people. Lawrence, Moldiver Maniac, Purple Pouring, Crazy Pete, he got 3 out of 4. The staff, Tarzan, Purple Pouring, Crazy Pete, JY, 3 out of 4. Casters, Pajaro, Tarzan, Purple Pouring, Crazy Pete, 3 out of 4. And the community, Purple Pouring, Connor Dies Last, Tarzan, and Pajaro, only 2 out of 4. So...
Nothing too crazy, but I do want to point out that you get more points based off of the correct placement. So shout outs to the staff for correctly guessing Tarzan right now. But as soon as I say that, you got to remember this is actually for the placings for those for the 2 games, if I remember correctly. So they still have a chance to go up or go down depending. Except for Tarzan, you can only go down or stay.
But looking good for many of our predictions, many of them having 3 out of the 4 top 4, and just hoping that they can get that last one correct, get the last people in there. So really looking forward to it, really looking forward to getting some more great TFT in. We'll probably see more 4 ace and set. We'll probably see more duelist Zed. But looking to see if we can get any AP flex in there. We didn't really have much of that last game.
Yeah, no, maybe somebody might be able to get re-energized and, maybe go AP flex there or just, mech misfortune. But hey, only time can tell, really. But, there's nothing really too outstanding that really made me go wow, in terms of comps besides the sure shot Belveth with IE and Last Whisper. I kind of wish there was maybe a little bit more sustain on that. But, the thrill of the hunt one was actually able to clutch out a few games. But yeah, there's nothing too crazy. Jax is out of the meta right now, but I'll talk about that later. But most importantly, we are in right now for game 2 of the carousel here.
Yeah, on board with Purple Pouring, our set 7 AML champion. Did take a 4th place in the last game, which is a pretty good start for them. Puts them right in the middle of the pack, right where they are currently on our big leaderboard, but really looking to cap it out with the 1st place with probably what is recognized as the best starting item, being that cloak.
Is that a joke?
Nope, that's not a joke.
Wow, really? A lot of people are going for cloak now?
It sure is, because Declaw is probably the best item in the game for frontline, especially when you play mech, because mech has so much HP, able to heal so much HP. So it is the best starting item, that and chain.
Wow, I got to keep that in mind next time I play. It's wild what a certain character can do to just turn the meta upside down, right? A lot of people have been toting cloak as one of the most, least exciting, least powerful starts, but now because of how prominent Dragonclaw is, that makes a lot of sense now. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Dragonclaw, Rune-Ins, Gargoyle Stoneplate,
true.
All of these different items. Ionic Spark's really good too. Oh, look at that! You see this brawler start?
Uh-oh.
Take you back to the old days?
Don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't do it. I don't care if Mortdog reverted the nerfs to the... He didn't revert the scaling nerfs. He reverted the base damage nerfs, which is okay. It's hilarious, though. He does have, 3 brawlers on deck. He's got 2 copies of Blitzcrank, possibly, if he wanted, and 2 copies of Renekton. It's just... Decides not to go for it, probably wants a different start, more sensible start, probably like a Laser Corp start. So I understand where Tarzan's coming from there.
Laser Corp being one of the most popular starts right now, something that I'm currently gravitating to a ton because it's super flexible in ways to flex in and out of that. Our first augment choice being a silver augment choice, will not super warp the game. Definitely one of my favorite ways to start the game with a silver augment choice. Able to get maybe a Thieves Gloves, maybe a Zephyr. Pete does go with the Thieves Gloves, which is one of the best silver augments in the game.
Absolutely. You get just almost like you get 1.5 free items on one person. It's pretty solid. Beefs up the front line, gives yourself a secondary carry if you really want to use it that way. Really good choice there. I thought he was going to go for the rat augment with Future Sight with Zephyr, but definitely not the case there.
No, it was not the case. Band of Thieves is the third best 2-1 augment for silver, being super flexible, just being an item that they can put on anybody later in the game, and just fantastic from them. So Renegade Heart, though, coming in on the other side, I believe, for Pajaro, with this Talon already with AP on there. So going to be doing a ton of damage there, but these recons dashing around, dropping aggro is kind of funny to watch. And as they beat and take down an Annie 2 already. How did they get Annie 2?
Well, they're level 4, right? So possibly because of the pre-roll, they might have gotten maybe 2 copies of Annie. Definitely cursed, I'll tell you that right now. But it can happen.
I mean, I think that's fantastic. She's still, after the nerfs, one of the best frontliners in the game, especially if you're going AP tree or if you're going one of these renegade trees where you need Ox Force as well. I had a game the other day where I played 8 Ox Force and nothing would die. So that was
that's too late. And of course, being a very fun chase trait, 150 to 300 attack speed based off of how much health you had. It's unreal. It's amazing.
It is amazing. Purple Pouring having Duelist Heart on the other side, being another one of those top performing silver augments, being the 4th best one to choose at 2-1, giving tons of direction, able to make you reach that, possibly that 8 Duelist breakpoint, which is really easy to reach as well. They currently have 4 Duelists in early with only 3 Duelists, so able to take down Risner and do tons of damage, 3-0 down to 88 HP, but not the lowest in the lobby.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing about Duelist Heart. If you high roll, those 3-cost Duelists, Riven and Vayne, Nyla and Vayne, pardon me, you get 6 Duelists at level 5. That's so gross. That's a lot of attack speed to comprehend, even with the switches from 10 stacks to 12 stacks, trying to slow them down a little bit. It's still overwhelming to play against, a 6 Duelist comp at like 2-4 or 2-3.
Yeah, it sure is. These Animal Squad pivot for Risner to try and get these early stacks hopefully will pay off for them as they're maybe looking to go that Misfortune route. We do see a recon board on the other side already having a Kaisa and already having a Vayne. So looking good for them. The Knife's Edge is not fantastic for this comp, but it could be something that they could use to buff them up, especially with recon able to dash them to the backline.
That is also true too. You could treat it like that, have them up on the second row, and then in which they immediately roll back as soon as somebody's close to their face. I almost fell over, but we are good. But we're going into the carousel at 2-3, 2-3, 2-4. I can't count, but nothing seems too out of the ordinary. A Senna with a bow would be nice to pick up, but of course we see a mana pickup, a tier pickup instead from Risner.
Your pickup for Risner, now going to slam a Spear of Sojin, I would imagine being the best mana item for Misfortune, who needs that mana item to keep casting, especially if you don't have Axiom Mark or any of that to give her mana. Will able to find a Silas too, but will make it and make Spear of Sojin. So we'll use Silas as that item holder for their comp.
There's nothing wrong with that, especially with the fact that it doesn't matter if you replace the Silas or not down the road, because you'll still have those same stacks. But as we go over to Tarzan's board, it's going for the underground strat, and I do like that strat, especially with Tiny Titans. It gives you a little bit more freedom to kind of lose and still be above 100 HP, still in a good spot. Nothing too crazy now in terms of components. We got a belt, vest, and a glove.
It does want to keep losing. Will want a 4-loss streak into the neutral round at the end of stage 2, just to continue to ramp up that underground. I imagine they're not going to cash out at 1. They'll continue to ramp up, not slamming Sunfire here because they don't really want to win the round. But Purple Pouring will be happy taking that win still at 100 HP. And as well as someone else in our lobby who I can no longer see their name. Pajaro. Just kidding. Not anymore.
Wow. Unbelievable. Yeah, Purple Pouring, the only one on a streak right now, just like last time, I believe. As we go back over to their board there, we got 4 duelists and 3 defenders here. Bit of a nice overwhelming composition right now. You got a lot of tankiness, but with a lot of damage there with the duelist.
Yeah, Duelist providing a lot of damage with that ramping attack speed, but these tank items are too much for any backliner to get through, especially this early in the game. So we'll be facing JY, who has Recon Heart, which is also a fantastic 2-1 augment. So lots of really good 2-1 augments in this game. So we'll give a lot of early direction, especially for these two players. One obviously going Recon, one obviously going Duelist. But it will be a win for Purple Pouring here pretty easily.
Yeah, you're a little bit hesitant there, and I don't blame you because they were struggling a little bit to finish off that front line. But of course, the 3v2 closes things out for Purple Pouring there. Good stuff to them with the 5-win streak there. Sitting pretty. You get just like a fair amount of gold from that. 10 gold. Going to get 10 more gold next round. Would have been only been like 6 or 7 if they lost that round. So that's how important win streak gold is.
That is very important. Tarzan now obviously blowing through. All of Tiny Titans are already down below 100 HP. This neutral round will be crucial to continue to give direction here. We see Moldiver Maniac with blue buff and Jeweled Gauntlet already being a fantastic starting for possibly flexing into any of those 3-cost AP carries.
Well, definitely. LeBlanc, I've heard, is extremely good now with the buffs there. Even without her hero augments, she can still do a lot of damage. Zoe's also a nice clean pick too. You can definitely go for still the fun like mecha set style comp there with Zoe, but there's also Aurelion Soul and Misfortune as well.
This Purple Pouring guy, absolutely high rolling 2 bows and a sword. Just excellent items for duelists. Able to make that Giant Slayer and possibly make a Last Whisper as well, or a Runans, which is fantastic for them.
Yeah, just trying to figure out what they exactly want to do, but snags the Zed at level 6.
Dude.
Wow, Purple Pouring. A menace to society once again. Just got to slam those items on Zed and they'll be good to go.
This Mort Dog guy just likes some people, And Purple Pouring is definitely one of them.
Yeah. Zed creeping his way to the front of the front line. Of course, duelists do have faster movement speed than anybody else, of course, besides people with hero augments, but and featherweights. But it's just interesting to see now. The Zed's just carving up everybody, but he's got to watch out for that Lulu ult there. Could take him out in just one hit, but doesn't matter. Purple Pouring clutches out another win.
Yeah, I can't see this board losing very much whatsoever. Has 3 Laser Corp in, which is a fantastic augment to slot in this mid game. Trait to slot in this mid game, as we do see our second augment choice being Gold Thrill of the Hunt, one of the best on Zed. Able to find a Samira as well on level 6. This guy is high rolling.
Mm-hmm. It's really interesting to see. We got the 2 sure shots on the go, but they still got to be careful. Their front line is looking a little bit squishy. But as we go over to the Crazy Pete's board, more item components than I can handle. There's so much stuff there, but I believe he did get Salvage Bin, which splits your items up, or possibly gotten Component Grab Bag. Only time can tell here. Gets the Sunfire Cape, doesn't know who to put it on. But yeah, it looks like we're going a potential Brawler LeBlanc type build right now. Who knows from Crazy Pete?
I don't know. I don't ever take this augment, specifically Salvage Bin, because I get so dizzy. There's so many different items you can make at any time, and if you sell one thing that has items on it, all of a sudden you don't know what you had before, and so it's just stressing me out just looking at it, just being stressed for Crazy Pete. But we'll look to take this round versus Tarzan, who is very intentionally lost streaking. I believe still has Underground in as well. Hopefully on a 3rd cash out already.
Yeah, I do believe he is streaming and does have a decent audience on Twitch, if I remember correctly, on Tarzan. So he's probably looking for some more clips with the Underground heist level cash out there. Oh, he's on YouTube. Yes, I completely forgot about that. So obviously, it does have an audience there. So probably wants to go for those high heist cash out YouTube shorts for sure.
Definitely want to get that content in and
Mhm.
don't blame them whatsoever. Having a pretty good spot here with that Ornn item as well. Seems to be down items, maybe? Did he beat Krugs? I'm not so sure. Doesn't have a ton of items with this Ornn item as well. So we'll continue to be looking to loss streak here. 3 underground and being able to ramp those up with those losses much easier than you would with winning rounds. So hopefully we'll not be taking a ton more losses. We'll obviously use that cash out to help them get out of their loss streak as well. Now at 11 out of 10, we'll be seeing a possible new shop right here after this carousel.
Yeah, so I kind of noticed that, like, he might. I don't know if Tarzan did lose on Krugs, but I know for a fact that his avatar was body blocking one of the components. So if you did have a hard time seeing the bow, that's completely understandable because, Tarzan was standing right in front of it. But yeah, he's got 6 components overall, not counting the Obsidian Cleaver. So could possibly might have missed out on maybe some items through Krugs, but still, still in a good spot. Oh, he did not lose. He is listening to our lovely voices.
I did have to go get my food. Oh, what are you eating? Now I'm just curious about the food. That's all I want to know about now. Is it something good? Oh, this was cash out 2. Decides not to go with the gold, or is it cash out 3? I'm not sure, but that was a lot of gold.
Yeah, it was cash out 2. I believe now he's in heist level 3. Did he say oops? Did he want to cash out? Oh, sushi. Close enough. Oops, sushi, same thing. He had sushi. That's not too bad. I'm not the biggest fan of sushi. But what the heck is this? Philios and Urgot?
What is happening?
Oh, Tarzan, the content god, got first place last time. Now he's gonna, try to pull it out of his butt again this time around, but with a good collection. Look at that. I can't believe it. I'm flabbergasted, CLE. And Urgot and an Aphelios in the same shop?
Yeah, that's Mort Dog in this game is just helping people.
Yeah.
Tarzan and Purple Pouring are just absolutely high rolling. Tarzan again taking another loss here. Pretty good loss. Only 3 units at this stage is not too bad. We'll probably want to continue loss streaking up until this next cash out as we hop on board with somebody who is also pretty near towards the top of the lobby, not at 100 HP like Purple Pouring, but JY having that early recon heart being excellent direction for them.
Yeah, especially with the Mana Zane on the Ezreal. That's extremely good. It's able to get those mini stacks out. Actually, no, they don't have stacks unless if it's Rising Spell Force. Pardon me, but still, that's a lot of damage to spew out with a lot of healing as well. And of course, with the more recons you have, the more crit chance you have as well. And once you hit 4 recon, your abilities can now crit. So it's pretty lit.
It is pretty lit, for recon being a huge part for that. But if you have a jeweled gauntlet, it doesn't quite matter. Curious to see if they'll continue to stick with recon, as we see on the other side for Max Second that it is contested. Having Triforce is an excellent way to take those recon boards, but is contested and will be a route that will not be able to probably 3-star your units.
No, that's the roughest thing about it sometimes. It's just like, there's recons is popular, and look at that, a misfortune there. You could definitely just say screw it and just give those items to misfortune instead of that Ezreal. But now it doesn't seem too appealing right now because it's only a misfortune 1. Ezreal 2 is going to shoot out a lot more damage per se than misfortune 1. But it's just something to keep in mind of.
Yeah, I mean, Mana Zane is one of the best items you can possibly get on Misfortune. Casting once and then casting almost right after. So is extremely strong for Misfortune. Probably wants to get one more cash out, I would imagine. Reforges that chain into not something that he really wants. Wants to probably go mech here. So we'll go with a ZZ Rot to provide that extra front line for this eventual Misfortune board that he will be playing.
Took the words right out of my mouth there, CLE. It's definitely a good angle to put yourself in. I'm just looking at it. It looks like 4 out of 10 for the underground. Probably just going to cash out and then say, screw it, I'll switch over. But we see the duelist Samira here with 6 duelists. She's going to cut through everybody with the greatest of ease, turning everybody into Swiss cheese. no bars intended there, but their front line is struggling a fair bit. Purple Pouring says gets CC'd by the Urgot. Nunu's rolling around. You got Lulu with BIS there. It's just taking down everybody right now. But I could, eat my words here, but just is not able to take out those last two.
Yeah, there's tons of 5 costs being found on each of these level 7 boards. A Nunu and an Urgot on the side of Moldiver being on his board and being valuable. So Purple Pouring taking a loss before this round, able to find contempt for the week. So is super strong, 50 gold level 7, will be leveling to 8 here shortly. Already has Samira too, just looking for that super tank to put these items on.
Absolutely. Foreboding the pickup on the Zed, it actually, if you pick up the Zed, I believe it reduces your chances a little bit to pick up Zed from the pool. So good stuff from Pouring to keep that at bay for now. Just got to be careful to not pick that up during, the loot rounds like Aurelion Sol.
Yeah, just raises your chances of getting that unit you're looking for while you roll. Now we see Risner, who has Make It Rain, or is this Bunny Mercenary?
I believe Bunny Mercenary is the carry one. Make It Rain is indeed the support one where you get, I believe, 16 gold. No, 20 gold after 3 player combats. It seems it seems that Pouring is not, Tarzan, whoever, is not the only one listening to our lovely voices here at Aegis Esports. So that's pretty cool. We'll try not to give them too much tips and tricks. But what a blow up from that other Misfortune and Moldiver Maniac there. Just ran him over. And of course, I believe that's also a support augment for Echo. So he gets that 2-second stun 10 seconds in, which is pretty nuts.
Yeah, that Lulu on the other side has grown up into a Misfortune who has multiple guns and those really good items to absolutely cap them out as high as possible, but Risner is in danger. At 19 HP this early in the game, we see JY at the top right corner hitting a Misfortune 2 as well. So Misfortune being very, very contested this game, not having fantastic items for the set, not having set 2, not having many 2 stars. So gonna be a struggle.
Oh yeah, for sure. So as this is not good here. So many Renegades. We got the same opening that I got in one of my games today. I didn't do so well, but anyways, that's different. We got Renegade Heart and Renegade Spat from their opponent here, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. Gets the stun off with the Sejuani, but still that's only a Misfortune 1 being cornered.
The set is tanking really well throughout this damage, but this Viego will not go back onto this Misfortune, but will be enough to kill right there. Having Renegade Heart and Renegade Spat, not having 6 Renegade right now feels kind of bad, but able to take that round win. Risner down at 9 HP at the bottom of the lobby, hoping for something that can put them together, but nothing really sticking out. Just wants some more tank items for that set. No sets in the carousel, no Misfortunes, so no shot in getting exactly what they're looking for.
Yep, so that's a little bit unfortunate. Oh, it looks like one of the guys is flexing on poor Risner that he couldn't get the Aurelion Sol. 5 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct for that hooligan. That's kind of funny to see, but I'm sure Risner will be able to possibly get something out of that. We got the cloak, but yeah, we don't have anything else. He has to survive 2 rounds to get into the next loot round for Aurelion Sol, and I don't know if he's able to do that. But look at this. What? Is this going to be enough? He almost got Riven 3 in just 2 rolls, but no dice.
That was kind of crazy. 4 Rivens and 2 shops, but it's not going to be enough. We'll actually end up just losing 1 gold there and not able to roll it down to find anything that they need. No upgrades coming, but now facing the board from Purple Pouring, who has not hit 2-star Zed yet, but will still have this really strong board being level 8. Having rolled it down, not finding 2-star Zed, which is quite surprising, but the front line is absolutely melting. Misfortune doing quite a bit of damage. The Zed does go down, but this Wukong in the front line is going to be very tanky, protecting the duelist Samira in the back line. So this will absolutely shred through this team. Wukong not dying whatsoever, but Risner will not die. He's at 1 HP.
And a dream. This is a little bit scary. He has one more chance to find that Misfortune 2 and is not able to.
Make it
Oh no,
rain.
make it rain and he
Oh,
finds it. Wow, what a fortunate turn of events there for Risner, but will it be enough? I think it might just be, but I really recommend that, maybe he should try to get that set too, possibly. You know, I still like these boards are kind of strong. I don't know if he's going to be able to clutch it out even with that Samira too, but only time can
yeah. I
tell.
mean, that 2 is going to be really hard to find in this lobby where it is super contested. Misfortune 2 will do a lot of damage, but with a lot of super tanks in the game, will it be enough? We see one on the other side with this Rammus jumping in and CCing much of the team. Will this Misfortune ult, who did get shrouded by this Cho'Gath, will it be able to get through this Rammus? It will not. The Vel'Koz is now coming through with the CC to stop them from ramping up their mana. The Kai'Sa ramping up that Rage Blade on the other side, but will it be enough? The Misfortune cast once again, but it's not enough to kill the carry on the other side, so Risner will drop out there in 8th place.
Unfortunate. I believe that was Max Second who was there just bothering poor Risner throughout the fight. But as we go over to Crazy Pete, who's somehow, unsurprisingly in a tough spot here, 18 HP, trying to relive the past memories of Jax. And I don't know if it's going too well right now. Even with Upgrade Berserk with Soraka, this is going to be extremely tough, and also I'm not the biggest fan of the positioning by Jax. I kind of want him out to be a little bit more towards the far right or the far left so that he doesn't get beat up by the front line right out the gate.
Ooh.
But that's just me.
Has a good item now to put on to this Berserk Soraka, who will continue to cast more and more later into the fight and do a lot more damage. Will roll down here for... Oh, can put a recurve bow on Jax if he remakes to make RFC. If he takes that, could also go with more
I don't think
items.
I don't know about this, to be honest. You could probably sneak a static shiv on somebody and then maybe make a okay, goes for Archangels. That's pretty good there. Gets the shiv on there.
Needed to roll down.
Yeah, he stayed way too long.
Jax 3.
Yeah, he stayed way too long on that, but he feels confident that he's not going to get eliminated this round. So who will know? Who knows here? It looks like Viego with Giant Slayer, Bloodthirster, and Deathcap. I don't know if they got all of their Renegades up and running, but the Jax is doing the best they can to keep on surviving, but it's not enough here. But just hangs on for dear life. Soraka clutches it out there, doesn't get the W, but keeps Pete in at 10 HP.
Yeah, a 1 unit loss there is not too bad for Pete. I believe that is 6 Renegade on the other side there. So we'll be doing a big roll down here to try to find 3-star Jax, 2-star Sejuani. Already has that Soraka, so not needing that. We'll continue to roll down, not hitting any Jaxes yet. We'll find a Zoe, but that's not what he's looking for. So not really hitting what he needs to in this final roll down. Needs one more Jax. Maybe he'll get it in this roll for the boys.
Nope.
Nothing.
More dog.
Not going to have it.
Okay, so this is going to be a bit tough, but at the same time, might be able to find another one next round if he survives. Last minute switch there, and it looks like he's going up against the Misfortune with Manazane with... That's gross. With the set online, Jax is going to have an extremely hard time to get through everybody, and it looks like a potential 4-ace build there. So Pete might be going down, but so does the set here. But
yeah, this Soraka getting later into the fight was able to do a lot, but not going to be enough. He will drop out at 0 HP perfectly. Crazy Pete, who took 2nd in our last game, will go down in 7th. So we'll average that 4.5 placement so far in these first 2 games.
It's rough. It's tough to see, but that's just how it goes. Even in the AML right now, the lobbies are extremely tough. The Grandmasters and Master players are definitely no joke. I actually played against some of them in the Fortune's Favor tournament yesterday, and that was tough. I did get top 8, but I did get a nice 8th place with 2 7s. But we do see a Kai'Sa 3 on, I believe, Max Second's board. So, that's going to be something to be looking forward to here. And with I believe that's Frostburn, so everybody's chilled for 6 seconds.
And Tarzan seems to be a pro at getting to these level 8s and absolutely flexing around it. Will continue to absolutely dominate these games, though, but being at 20 HP in danger, but will drop Max Second down to very critical. Is that 1 HP there for Max Second? I think it is.
Yeah, I can't tell. It looks like a 1 or a 2. Close enough, though. Definitely, they can't survive another loss there. It's 1. That's crazy. So that's the last chance for Max Second there. Even if Max Second goes down, 6th place isn't too bad, and you still have 2 more weeks to go before the elimination playoffs. Not everybody does make it to the playoffs, but still, you still have 8 more games to go, after this week. So gives them plenty enough time to get back in shape.
This Kaisa 3 on the board for Max Second is quite scary, but not enough in this lobby that has proven to be super high roll for many of these players. We've seen Urgot 2 come in for one of our players as well on the other side. We'll get a really crucial, well, not a really crucial item because they already have Static Shiv, but we'll get another tank item for this Rammus in the front line, which will be huge. JY, our round, who got 8th place in the first game, is now win streaking at the top of the lobby at 5-5. So sitting pretty there, hoping to continue win streaking till he sees the victory screen. Able to find an upgraded Leona for Pajaro. Pajaro getting that 2-star Leona on the other side with the 6 Renegade board. It could do a ton of damage against this Recon board, but will it be enough? This Kaisa walks forward and gets absolutely destroyed by 6 Renegade, especially this Renegade spat on this Fiddlesticks, but is still alive, though, on the other side. We'll be cleaning up as much as possible as they're dashing around to safety. Thank goodness for that new AI that gets them to the place that they want to be, but will still be going out there in 6th place.
Fortunately, the Recon still dashed into danger and got themselves between a rock and a hard place. Unfortunate, but still decent, Didn't get 7th, didn't get 8th. Just has to shake it off for next time. But as we go over to Poring's board here, they're just scouting around and seeing, but we still got that 6th duelist Samira with Hodge and IE Infinity Edge with the 4 sure shots. That's wild. 4 sure shots, 6 duelist Poring, high rolling. 28 HP. It is a tad bit low, especially going against Tarzan, but as we go here, we're just seeing everybody just going in, but the front line sinking down fast from Purple Pouring here. It stuns all around, and the Samira and the Urgot from Tarzan's just forcing a lot of pressure there, taking out the other Samira, and Purple Pouring gets hit hard, hit for half of their HP, down to 14.
Yeah, and Pajaro dropping down to 3 HP as well, so both of them in grave danger going into this neutral rounds. Not able to find a Z2, having 60 gold though, so choosing not to roll it down is critical for them. Tarzan though, with that really tanky front line, having an Urgot 2 already, really, really, really strong. So they're looking to repeat their wins back to back and hoping to take that double first place to get some hot streak points in the AML.
Absolutely. I do notice that Pouring probably wants to get a Sejuani 2. I believe they're saving up to go to level 9 to possibly slot that in. That would definitely be a decent solution to their frontline problem, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get it because 14 HP now going into stage 6, that's a 3-unit loss away from getting eliminated.
And this was something last fight that would have made a huge difference. This last Whisper will be absolutely giant for this board. Able to find an Urgot now to provide maybe some extra CC. Able to find 2 Zeds in shop, as there's one on his board as well. So we'll be collecting a Z2. Has Last Whisper now to plug in to shred some armor with all of these champions that do AD damage. Wanting to go with the CC from the Sejuani instead, maybe giving that extra drone to do some extra damage. Swaps last second, putting Last Whisper on the Zed versus the 6 Renegade board. So this will decide who will go out in 4th and who will go out in 5th place. Who will it be? Will it be Purple Pouring or will it be Pajaro dropping out? The Zed goes down pretty early to the 6 Renegade board, but the Samira is still alive with Duelist, able to cast another big cast. Will it take down this Fiddle before it does? And it will. Pajaro will drop out in 5th place and Pouring staying alive.
That was wild. I don't even know how to describe how lucky that Samira was to catch the Viego right out the gate. And that did a really good job of kind of shutting down Pajaro's Renegades. And that just kind of sealed the deal there. So, geez, good stuff there.
Absolutely great stuff from this duelist Samira. Looks like a lot of the eggs are in one basket here, really just propping up that Samira to do as much damage as possible. But will it be enough to take down the board from Tarzan, from Moldiver, who he's going to face here next? We will see able to get that locket on this Zed. will be able to swap sides. So Misfortune will cast at the largest clump, which will not be this Samira, most definitely, but will get CC'd by this Urgot early in this round. So able to knock that Samira up, but the dashing around from the Zed and the contempt for the weak. But this Misfortune is doing a ton of damage, but not really killing any of these priority units just yet. Samira now casting more and more, getting ready for this final cast that will take out the remainder of the board. So Purple Pouring, who was not quite sitting pretty, does take out Moldiver there in fourth place. So we'll take a top 3.
Wow, that's unreal. There was a slight delay there, but then unfortunately Moldiver Maniac had a really good misfortune, but just wasn't able to take out the 6 duelist 4-sure shot Samira in time. But as we go over to see everybody else's board, we got that board from JY with that Manazane Misfortune 2 with the Make It Rain. So, basically the rich get even richer there. So, I wouldn't be surprised if JY closed this out even with the Ghost.
Yeah, this Misfortune, though, could be danger for Purple Pouring being on the opposite corner. Samira being behind one of the largest clumps, so she will cast towards him. Could be grave danger being 4 ace as well on the other side, but the Misfortune decides not to do that, and instead Zed will go and absolutely delete that Misfortune on the other side, and Tarzan absolutely destroying JY's board, who is now down below Purple Pouring in HP. So both of them in grave danger, but Tarzan looking for a repeat.
Oh, geez, yeah. If Tarzan gets 2 wins in a row, that'll be huge. You mentioned before, you do get special hot streak points. So if you get, I believe, 2 wins, you do get an extra point on the standings, which definitely does clutch out tiebreakers. Gives you that further, lead that you need to get into the playoffs. This is a pretty good spot for Tarzan. As we go over to his board, an Urgot 2 with Obsidian Cleaver. That's gross. 60, I believe, I forget if it's 60% or not for the Obsidian Cleaver, but that does do a lot of shredding and sundering on the other board, especially with that it also applies onto your ults as well and your abilities. So that big tidal wave just gets rid of a lot of your magic resistance and armor.
Does get rid of a lot of that MR and armor, but this front line for Tarzan is super strong. So this board from Purple Pouring will have a really hard time getting through this front line. As you see, this Zed stuck on the Sejuani, but does get through it pretty easily because of the double focus from the carries, but will absolutely delete the rest of the units on the other side of the board with this Ophelia. So we'll take an easy win. Curious to see if the other matchup is going well for someone. But Purple Pouring, it does not go well for him. He will drop out in third place.
Yep, so unfortunate for Purple Pouring, but once again, JY versus Tarzan, is that an Aphelios too? Yes, it is. That is gross, and it looks like, I don't know if that is Binding Eclipse or not, still on that Aphelios too. It looks like it isn't. I don't know if that's the one, whether if it's still Blinding Eclipse or the, what is it called? The ones that he throws the chakrams.
I'm not sure about the names, but it will come down to this. The 4 ace board from JY versus this high cost flex from Tarzan. Who will take the win? Will Tarzan take his second win in a row? And as this front line absolutely disappears for Tarzan, from JY, it will be Tarzan taking the lobby win once again. Absolutely fantastic showing by them, going back-to-back first places with these high-powered boards. Just really high-level TFT coming through from one of our EU players.
This is unreal. I believe this is unreal. Like, so nice. I said it twice. Rogunis in the AML got 2 first place in a row on stream. Tarzan getting 2 first place in a row. This is absolutely wild. Good stuff to Tarzan this time around, clutching out 2 first places. I just can't believe it. This has been some really good TFT we watched today, and really happy I had the chance to commentate it.
Absolutely. And we do have people that consistently top 4 today. We have 2 other people that both got top 4s in both of our games. Moldiver Maniac getting that 4th and a 3rd, and Purple Pouring also getting a 4th and a 3rd. So fantastic showings by them. And if we can go over to our predictions real quick, we can give you the final predictions for Lobby 1, seeing if we did well. The top 4 will be Tarzan, Moldiver Maniac, Purple Pouring, and Crazy Pete. So no one getting 100% correct, but many of us doing well, staff doing really well, community doing pretty well, getting 2 out of 4. The casters doing well, getting 3 out of 4. But the staff getting Tarzan right at the top is fantastic.
Yeah, and I don't know if you talked about Lawrence already, but you did get Purple Pouring and the Crazy Pete in there, which is not too bad. Unfortunately,
And Maniac.
Oh, sorry, I got that mixed up. It was Moldiver Maniac and Purple Pouring. Jeez, pardon me. I didn't have enough coffee today, but that's not important right now. But still, good stuff to Lawrence for getting some points on the board. He's getting closer and closer to everybody else every day. So
Absolutely.
Just got to keep on trucking.
Sure does need to keep on trucking and just maybe get them right. How's that,
Yep.
Lawrence? We will be back here in 5 minutes with our second lobby of the day, featuring all new players. Last week we had some repeats, but this week, no, we're going all new players. So really looking forward to that. Maloney will stick around. Sir Black P will take my spot, but we'll see you back here in 5 minutes.
That sounds great. See you guys in a bit.
storm and the rain. Intoxicated sun, at the sunshine let me know. All my thoughts move in the darkness of pouring downpour of a storm. My soul is. Should I pretend like we're just dancing in the sunlight? And I'm done waiting every day until I realize you're the rain on my every days. Dark cloud in the stormy rain. Stepping away, stepping away, stepping away from this fight. Hidden away, hidden away, hidden away with your light. Killing me, hope I thought that was inside. Killing me, hope that I had in my life. I'm sick 'cause you're wasting my time inside my. Should I pretend like we're just dancing in the sunlight? I'm done waiting every day until I realize.
Hello, people. We are back. Sorry, Maloney. Took your part, I think. But anyways, we are back. I am back here with Maloney for 2 more games tonight on this Saturday on the Marauder League. How are you doing, my man?
Oh, doing good. Of course, I had a chance to watch the last 2 games in AML, and Tarzan just ran over the entire lobby, not once, but twice, 2 first places there. So, good performance by Tarzan. They're getting an extra hot point there to help them with their standings as well. And now with 2 games being done, we got a new lobby on the go as well. So now what we can do is that we can head over to predictions and see what who everybody voted for. Pardon me, maybe it was a little bit too fast on there. No, that's what we got here right now. Predictions in Lobby 2. We don't have the points updated right now, but that's no big deal. We got, right now for Lawrence's picks, we got TFT's Gaga Mao, we got Riao, Skylar Vice, and not exactly Bacon for top 4. We got Connor Dies Last, Zanzazurge, Rio, and Skylar Vice for the staff. For us casters, we got Gaga Mao. It seems to be kind of popular there with Skylar Vice for Yardborn, who did a pretty good showing last week, I believe, and Zanzazurge. And of course, the community voting for Aggro DH for number 1, with Vor Yardborn with number 2nd. Not exactly Bacon taking 3rd, and of course Zanzazurge taking number 4. And I do want to give you guys a heads up that this is just an average of the 2 placements that they'll have on stream tonight.
Yes, perfect. So we seem to have a little bit more variation here on names as we did in past weeks, where everyone was like voting for mostly the same people. But we are still going on the same patch as we did before. No changes in terms of the meta. Mostly the same thing still going with the aces, the sets, and the mecha primes. Seeing some different things here and there. Some Dravens popping out. Some Kaisa's still going hard, but nothing new. So excited to see if someone can bring something new to the table, or if we're just going for the same things, and let's see who's the best.
Yeah, we saw a few Renegade comps, which is not too bad, but one that stood out, unfortunately only got 6th or 7th, I believe, was a Sure Shot 2-star Belveth with IE and Last Whisper. That was interesting. They also had Thrill the Hunt 1 to give them a little bit of sustain, but unfortunately they weren't able to make top 4, but it was kind of funny to see. So
yeah, I love the Belvet changes. It should be a good champion by now. Unfortunately, I think the meta just doesn't favor it too much, right?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. The sheer fact that Belveth still kind of struggles against mechs, even with Last Whisper, it does take quite some time. If they aren't able to get stuck on the mech, then it is a little bit better. But yeah, I just kind of feel like still this meta doesn't benefit Belveth as much as other champions. And
Yeah, so we will be soon joining the lobby, but don't worry, guys. Just talking just a little bit more about the meta. I think Belvet is a threat. Obviously, we have pretty much all the threats being really good. Fiddlesticks and Urgot are like the standard bearers for legendary units on the end game. But we also have the Ramos, the Shoga, and the Zac being very good frontline, especially in the Kai'Sa comp. And then we also have Aurelion Sol, who can here and there be some of usage. It is even used sometimes in the Renegade comps, as you said, with the Oxforce emblem. Sometimes it helps a little bit the Viego there because the Viego seems to not have that much burst to kill everything that is there. So the anti-healing plus a little bit of damage from the assault tends to help. And Belvet seems to be the one threat that is not so much as a threat.
Yeah, it's just she's in a weird spot. She's got decent range, but she's kind of like the pseudo AD carry version of the threats, whereas Asol is kind of like a AP carry, but she just kind of gets outclassed by almost every other 4-cost carry that's in there. But they also don't want her to be too overwhelming, with that AD ratio buffs. Actually, the bug fix that they did last patch. So Belvet's just in a weird spot. Maybe people just haven't found BIS yet. Maybe she has the infamous 4-item problem, where maybe she wants 4 items like IE, Last Whisper, Runaan's, and Bloodthirster in order to do well. So, but you can only have 3. So you're kind of at a weird impasse where you're just kind of like, well, what do I got to do with Byleth in order to make her good? So that's just one of the questions I guess the dev team's going to be working on for quite some time. But hey, 7 out of 8 threats is pretty good for hitting them out of the park. So nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, definitely I agree. And there's also the fact that we seem to have some reworks coming our way. We don't know what exactly. It could be Belvet, could be something else. But Belvet just seems to struggle in terms of positioning as well. Kind of throws itself in harm's way way too much, differently from other carries who can just stand safe in the backline, shooting out and not getting killed most of the time. So yeah, anyways, but we're still seeing the same things as we were saying. So just hoping to see who's going to be the best tonight, because we'll remember we are in a league system. We have plenty of weeks to go still. We have playoffs afterwards, so there's still a lot of tournament ahead of us. And so people tonight will just be trying to gather some points, garner some points, and go ahead on the table as far as they can. But nothing will be decided tonight.
Of course not. Okay, so it seems just a little update there. We're going to be sending in as a lobby of 7. There was somebody that wasn't able to make it. I do just want to give everybody a heads up. Honestly, I could commentate and play at the same time if given. So, just hit me up, even though I'm only Diamond 4. So if you want to see some certified Maloney action there. But, we are in now. So we got Skylar Vice's point of view right now. Skylar Vice doing really well. I believe they got top 3 in set 7.5 AML. So curious to see what they go for. But once again, we get the dreaded tier belt glove start on the carousel. What do you think about that?
Yeah, for sure. I am not really much of a fan of that. But again, we have the defensive items being really good right now. The redemption is one of the key items, I would say, pretty much with the declaw. But then you also have the Warmogs and the Sunfire Cape, which are really good for the early game. And you have the redemption here dropped with the tier. So it's pretty fine. It's not my preference, but it works fine in the current meta.
Yeah, that's fair. Honestly, if it's one thing that I do kind of need to start out doing more is maybe belt starts. Sometimes I just get upset if I don't get my swords, I don't get my bows or my gloves. So I should just kind of start to explore with other things. And slamming a redemption isn't too bad, especially if you find a decent beefy front line like Vi, Blitzcrank, Renekton.
Yes.
It's like the 4 brawlers, in my opinion, is still a solid front line to play. It's just six brawlers and how they nerf Jax and everything. It's just kind of makes the comp non-existent anymore. Crazy Pete tried doing it, I think, last game and got a clean 7th or 6th place. So it doesn't. It's not as strong as it used to be.
Yeah, it pretty much used to rely on Jax plus Soraka as your damage dealers. Jax is pretty much non-existent anymore. Soraka is really good, but it takes so much time to ramp up that you need your front line to survive so much, and still it lacks a little bit of damage with Jax used to complement. Not anymore. So yeah, unfortunately the comp is kind of dead, and I hope something comes up out of it if they can change something. Soraka is kind of hard to play around with. The admins, not really the best synergy to go with, and the brawlers. So we have the augments on the screen with the silver augments, Maloney. Nothing too crazy now.
Yeah, so we did see a laser core heart there, but not really much items to really complement it. We got a potential never mind. It goes for thrill. I do like that. Doesn't really force them into a specific comp, but he does have a talent too. Could slam a almost said brawler's gloves, a jeweled gauntlet on the talon, and that wouldn't be too bad. So it does seem like he's doing that, and then possibly saving the tier for later. Could put a hand of justice on said talon later on as well. That's not too bad for Diego items down the road.
Yeah, and we get a hacker heart for our player here for aggro. So yeah, blue buff on Zoe, on the Lulu, which is gonna be on the Zoe later down the line. So we seem to have some Zoe play going here. Let's see if the Z is gonna be used or not, but at least the LeBlanc's probably going. So we're gonna get some nice healing on the Zoe on top of the so much spread damage that it can do. So probably gonna look for the Morelos later and some more AP down the road. But I like Zoe pretty a lot in the current meta, especially if you can get 4 or 6 hearts going. Obviously, 6 hearts just hard to get, but it's very strong. But especially if you could get the heart spat on the Zoe, then that's really, really strong.
Oh, absolutely. A blue buff does reduce the champion's max mana, making it extremely easier to actually cast. He's kind of looking around. He's got 2 copies of Camille, 2 copies of Blitzcrank, trying to see possibly there might be like an admin angle potentially, but only time can tell here right now with the hacker. The hacker heart, yeah, that's not too bad. The cool thing about that is that if you get all 3 hackers out on the field, they have 4 hackers, which is a staggering 70% omnivamp. So we'll see.
Yes, it's a lot of omnivamp. Everyone hitting just so much, and the front line right now is really, really beefy as well. Poppy 2 stored as well as a Galio. Then you have the Nasus to complement with the mascots there and some healing. But that talent, though, kind of hard to deal with for the Lulu, but doesn't matter. It's so much front line. It's now the Talon versus the 2 mascots, and the Galio is just too much to deal with for now. One thing I do like to do sometimes in situations like this is just throw the Blitz and the Camille in really quickly, check out what the admin is going to be for me that game, and then just pop it out, but anyways.
Oh, 100%. I like to do the same thing too. I really, really, really enjoy Camille reroll, despite not being as good as it used to be. But that's one good thing that I like to do. Yeah. Just quickly sneak into admin, see if there's anything special. My favorite that is that I like is that on ally death, admins gain 20% attack damage. That is busted. I've gotten Camille up to 600 attack damage at the end of a fight because of it, and it's very, very, very good. Other ones, mana's not too bad on death. On kill is all right sometimes. It's not as consistent, obviously. But even just having a mini knife's edge like admins gain this much attack damage at the start of battle, it's not too bad either for Camille. But it's just still can't really contend with the Mecha Samira, Mecha Misfortune comps just because set is too big, especially if you don't have the hack realm on the board.
Yes, for sure. And here we have a Zoe with a spatula on it on the carousel. Let's see if our hacker player gets it. Not sure if it was the case, but still. Spatulas are pretty much used for Heart, Ox-Force, and Renegade nowadays. Not much for anything else. Laser Corps can be done. 6 Laser Corps is pretty decent, but unless you have for sure setup for it, you won't go for it. And obviously, you could always end up getting a. Sorry, forgot the name of the Force of Nature, the new one.
Oh, Tactician's Crown.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, no worries. I do want to point out, Duelist Spat isn't too bad either. You don't really see that as much. We did have a really, really cursed board by Purple Pouring, I believe, last game or the game before, which they had 4 Sure Shot, 6 Duelists, Amira 2, with Affinity Edge and Hand of Justice, which did pretty well. I believe they got 3rd place with it, so, you know, it's not too bad. Slams the Shiv. Skylar Vice on the Ashe there, you know, needs to save a little bit of HP or sorry, keep that win streak on the go, pardon me. But, you know, going up against the Hacker Heart player.
Yeah, and we do know that with this Recon Heart, it is going to be a Recon comp, and Static Shiv is one of the go-to items for your Kai'Sa, or doesn't even need to be on the Kai'Sa. You can just throw it on a second Recon and fully built as a damage dealer on the Kai'Sa. So it's definitely really, really good. Just need to find that 4th one so everyone gets guaranteed crits, because that makes such a massive difference and such a big jump on their damage, especially on the early game where there's not much defenses on the enemy's front lines.
Absolutely. And Skylar Vice heavily debating whether or not if they want the Blitzcrank 2. They're just going to say go for it. Not really a big fan, not really worth it or important to have Mascot 2 on the go right now. So they just get the Galio with Warmog's frontline with the Blitzcrank and the Cho'Gath, which is not too bad. And of course, you know, Ashe being a really solid item holder for Kai'Sa. I completely forgot about that part. So, you know, Skylar Vice isn't in too bad of a spot here.
Yes, considering that you can drop the Ashe out later down the line since you have the Recon Heart there. And now we're facing off here against Vorajibor. I don't remember exactly the name, how to say that name, but anyways, that Ramos really hard with Ionic Spark. They're really helpful, but seems the Static Shiv is just a little bit more powerful than the Ionic, and it's a win for Skylar Vice.
That was extremely close and hard to tell. It's a little bit hard to say. It is, I believe, it's Scandinavia. It's actually supposed to be from like Freljord. Geez, I can't even say Freljord, right? Freljord. It's Voriyardborn, I believe. The J's are actually pronounced as Y's, if I remember correctly. Shout outs to, I believe, ProTroy that actually helped me with the pronunciation there. I forget if it was him or CLE, but yeah, Voriyardborn there. It's he's doing pretty good. I believe Voriyardborn did well last week, so it's nice to see him again this time around as well. So, you know, only time can tell. This is only game 1 of block 2 here, so.
Okay, so we get a Spatula drop playing a Talon with a possible Viego angle down the line. We get the Renegade Spat drop there with the glove. Okay, so we have a great scenario here for Real to play the Viego comp, which seems to be really good nowadays. Isn't necessarily going to be a top 1 comp, but it's pretty solid for a top 3, top 2 scenario, and you don't really need much more than that in a league system. You know, securing good enough points, and we seem to, we're going for this Lamb on the Renegade Spats.
Yeah. So one thing that's kind of interesting that's kind of popped up a little bit was Talon reroll, but it's kind of only really viable with the hero augment. So, you know, honestly, at the same time, it looks like a 6 Renegade Viego angle, which is actually not bad. With the Renegade Spat, you're not going to need Leona. And then if you do get Leona, you could just easily tag out Silas for said Leona. So it's a pretty good spot there. That's Rioans right now.
Yeah, it makes it so much easier not needing the Legendary to hit your cap on the synergy. Obviously, with Leona is so much better, but you don't really need it there. Now just gotta hope to find that Viego down the line, because it's not usually that much contested, but who knows? Sometimes it just doesn't come.
That's true. 2 loss streak, but at 65 HP already. But we're going into our second augment round, which is another silver, which is a little bit stale, but could be interesting if you take the admin heart and then find a LeBlanc to get 4 admin at level 6 once they level up. I think that might be a good strat. Battle Mage, also a solid spot. And, the front line's not too bad, so you could go Electro Charge. So I think it's not too bad whichever one Rio goes. But I would probably go for Admin Heart, maybe Battle Mage.
Yeah, I would usually go for Battle Mage here. I do not recall what the admin currently is for him. Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, maybe if your admin is just so powerful, I don't know which option could be that much powerful. Because Battle Mage is just so solid. That little bit of extra AP and defenses keeps Viego alive just a tad bit more, makes him kill just a tad bit more, and it's just the guaranteed option to go for usually.
Absolutely. So we see Renegade on Renegade action with not exactly Bacon Sport against Rio, as who we just last saw here. They seem like to be almost going for the same build path too, with the Bloodthirster on Talon, giving him a little bit more survivability with that max health shield. Not too bad, clean win there. 2-win streak for not exactly Bacon, but man, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish I had a Baron Little Legend. Those are so expensive. 2,500 RP.
Yeah, for sure. I love the Baron. I'm still trying to gather some RP, playing some tournaments here and there to see if I can buy myself a little Baron. But anyways, yeah, we saw some Talon on Talon action there. And on this side, on Bacon's side, we got the augment for the health there, which is Tiny Titans. And so differently from our other player with the Viego angle, which has some power-ups, here we got some econ in the form of extra health. So let's see if in the end game that's going to make a difference. But for now, at least, we already have 3 perfect items for Viego here down the line.
Absolutely. We do see a LeBlanc hacker board on the go here, of course, with the Celestial Blessing as well. Pretty solid choice there. I think that's also a LeBlanc too, but still nothing matters as they're getting bombarded by Talon and the rest of the Renegades there. Silas actually spending all of his time beating up on whatever that is. Oh, the Echo. It was standing in place for such a long time, and just the way it looked on the screen, I honestly thought it was a training dummy for some odd reason, but that's just how it is sometimes.
Yeah, and I love the scenario where you get Tiny Titans, you get a Solaris slammed on your front line as well. You just conserve so much health that in the end game you're probably getting a top 4 just because of how much HP you saved. But I have a question for you about Viego. Which one do you prefer? The Bloodthirster or the Gunblade? Because the Gunblade obviously gives just a tad bit more healing, but it isn't always for him. Sometimes it's for allies.
Yeah.
So which one would probably the best?
Okay, I'll try to give you the answer in the least. Yeah, I'm gonna say Bloodthirster simply because of the fact that honestly, I would honestly rather go neither. I actually go Ionic Spark, Hodge, Jeweled Gauntlet. So that used to be a pretty good build. It helps reduce the magic resistance on the front line, which gives them a bit of more chance. Let's say if I had 6 Renegades somehow already, and a Viego too, and if I had the choice between a Bloodthirster and a Hextech Gunblade, I would pick Gunblade for sure because of how much damage he's going to spit out and heal everybody else for it. But I don't know. I would go for the health shield on Bloodthirster.
Yeah, sure, makes sense. Also helps with the survivability, the shield. And obviously, you're also going to slam whatever you have because you just want to be as strong as possible, as fast as possible. And here we get one more win, this time against Scrappy Doo. This Talon is just too hard to deal with. Just pops out to the backline, kills your carry too fast. And so it's a win streak with Tiny Titans for Bacon. Very, very safe spot for him. And the Viego pops up on the shop. We get a really good game here for him, Melanie.
Absolutely. So, he's in a really good spot here. He's comfortable enough with the fact that he feels confident that he's going to be able to find maybe another copy of Talon at level 6. I thought he was going to level up straight to 7 there just because he got the Viego one with full items. Kind of scared me for a second, but it's still doable to find one cost at level 7, but if I was him, I would probably try to roll down just a little bit more. But at the same time, he also doesn't have a Renegade spat. So 6 Renegades isn't an option. I almost got confused with the other Renegade player that does have a Renegade spat.
Yes, exactly. On the other side here, we have Skylar Weiss with that declaw, which makes the Viego have to work a little bit more to kill, but doesn't matter. It's a Viego, fully built, very good build, very good items on 3-6. It's just way too much to deal with. Bacon is on the strongest spot currently out of the 8 players.
Absolutely. As we go back to the other Renegade player with 4 Renegade, 4 Oxforce, Rio there hasn't found his Viego there yet, but still at a solid spot there. Throw the Hunt, Battle Mage with a Talon 2 with the Gunblade. So, but other than that, he's kind of in a weird spot. He's got 7 copies of Talon at level 6. I don't really think it's a good idea for him to go for that Talon 3 angle, in my opinion. But, of course, we'll see what exactly other items he's got there. Just a recurve bow sells him a lot of his 2 costs there to get a lot of money, goes to 7. Now he could possibly find maybe a Viego down the road. Who knows?
Yeah, let's see. One cool thing is that we're going to get to see a Gunblade versus a Bloodthirster. So the debate between the items. We get a Misfortune as the Renegade here on the backline. Pretty interesting with the Ace plus the Renegade damage. Can do a lot of AoE there. Lacking a little bit of the items, of course, but maybe the synergy buffs will be enough. And we are very close to the 3rd augment. So now we get to face our hacker player there with aggro, with the LeBlanc popping on the backline already nearly to kill, and kills the Misfortune really fast, really easy. Blue buff LeBlanc. Might we see a LeBlanc carry because we have 2 more on the bench? It might be a 3-star LeBlanc very soon.
Definitely. We see LeBlanc just tear up the back line. Honestly, I might be a little bit more inclined to play LeBlanc now, just seeing all these changes here. But they're kind of, what looked to be struggling to take out the front line, it just seems like it's only the Talon surviving right now. Leaps onto the backline of LeBlanc, but not enough as it's surrounded by everybody else, loses that one. But it looks like we see our random person going out, poor Scrappy Doo going out at 8th place. That's just how it is sometimes. You you just want to play a normal game of team fight tactics and accidentally wind up in a competitive lobby. That's just how it is. What?
Okay, so if we had took the MF augment there, we would have a 2-star MF, but at the same time, how you don't take the Viego augment when you're playing Renegades, right? So it was for sure choice there. Now let's see here on this. It's Echo with stun. It's really good, the resonance augment there. Really helpful with the AoE stun on the enemies. And so we're playing 4 recons with a decent front line, not so much on the threats here, using the Galio, using the Echo. Now we get the Remus and the Zek. Really, really good. Warmogs and Declaw goes on the Echo. Echo is going to be our main front line for this comp.
So I do want to point out, actually, I believe that's the carry augment for Echo, so that actually deals more damage on his ult based off of how much magic resistance he has. So no Chrono Break this time. Or was that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually wild. I never see that one. That really caught me off guard there for a second. I forgot if you mentioned that or not.
But no, I actually thought it was the other one, the Chrono Break, really. But it, as you said, it's so rare to see and so niche to use that it's hard to see. But it was a very good choice here. And with the Declaw there and the possible Echo too soon, it's interesting. It can add a lot with the damage there, especially with the Shiv from the Kai'Sa reducing the enemy's MR. And Kai'Sa obviously doesn't have too much on damage side here on Mitons and being 1-star. So the Echo can really help feel that extra damage that will be needed to kill the enemy backliners.
Absolutely, and I do love this little mini splash that he has with the 2-star Nyla and the Echo and the Kai'Sa giving 3-star Guardian. So it does give Echo and Nyla, and of course Kai'Sa, more mana to play with to cast more often. But we're jumping into the Viego board with the Gunblade here, and nothing seems too crazy. It's going to be a lot harder for Viego to land his ults on the recons, especially when they're going to be running away as soon as they have close enough mana. Viego struggling there on the Cho'Gath. That's the third slam he's done, and slam number 4, nobody going down here, but still it's still almost a little bit close here. And I'm lying when I said that. I thought that was the Cho'Gath on the other side, but it just turns out the Misfortune just was not enough there. I think that was the Renegade Misfortune team.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
yeah, that was nuts though. It was really good. Even with that Kaisa 1 did really well.
Yeah, Shoga with the natural MR, increased MR that he has, plus the Bramble Vest blocking all the crits from the Viego's Jeweled Gauntlets. It was insane and just impossible to deal with. Still a Viego 1, still a lot to go for when the Viego 2 comes. Might make a difference, but unfortunately that Viego 1 was not enough for that Bramble Vest.
Oh, absolutely. It was just too much for the Viego to handle. I don't even know if positioning would have helped him at all. We see the Kaisa 2 on Skylar Vice. That's not too bad. Honestly, what is it? 17 gold, 72 HP with 2 copies of Cho'Gath, actually 5 copies, and 2 copies of Rammus. But now, what would he rather pick, mind you? Like, would he rather go with the Zac or the Rammus 2? That's
a really good debate. It's both can offer a little bit of a very good frontline. Zac is more of an HP beef target. Rammus is the armadillo. And then we have a Soraka carry here on the other side from aggro with the blue buff and the Jeweled Gauntlet. We changed from the LeBlanc, and Soraka dealing so much damage with a Soraka augment, but unfortunately too hard to kill. This Declaw Echo just doesn't lose health, recovers the little bit it has lost because of the HP recovering on the Declaw, and just impossible to deal with Skylar Vice. Kaisa showing off again why it's one of the top comps of the meta.
Absolutely, and that's the thing about the Soraka. I don't know if that was the Soraka 2 or not, but it didn't have upgrade. Okay, perfect. It didn't have upgrade Berserk. I like that on Soraka a lot more than the mana giving one. But especially if you want to run her as a carry, well, that's just sometimes just how things goes. You don't have your reroll, and you just kind of take what you have. Maybe he wanted I just would have sent it and went for LeBlanc carry, in my opinion. But he's playing, and I'm here on the commentary booth, so
yes,
it's just how it is sometimes.
Yeah, it seemed that LeBlanc was doing some good job going directly on the backline, but now we're going to rely on the Soraka. Anyways, we get a redemption on the Thief's Glove on the Echo, really good against 40-yard Born. And let's see if the Soraka can or not deal damage. We get a really weird Talia there with the Shojin plus Ginsos. He's going to cast a lot, but maybe lacking a little bit on the damage. But on the other side, what we got to see is that Mecha Prime set with perfect anti-magic damage items, plus an Ionic Spark to help a little bit with the Talia that lacks the damage, and it's really, really impossible to deal with that set for the Soraka now with the overtime. Maybe it's gonna be enough, and the set goes back to his own team. Soraka is safe, and the overtime does the work for aggro.
That was wild. It was that's the tough thing about it. You want to go Misfortune sometimes. You want to go whatever carry that you have, but sometimes you don't get it, so you just find the Talia and just put her in. I actually don't mind Talia sometimes, especially if you have re-energize, because she does have really good backline access compared to Misfortune, especially if you're dealing with such a tanky frontline. But of course, Talia is just nowhere near as strong and as popular as she was before.
Yes. Very big difference between Talia on the first patch of the set and right now. You gotta play whatever you hit. If it's Talia, fine, you go for it. The good players, the best players, find a way to make it work. It's probably not gonna get you a top 1, but again, you don't really need it. Top 4 is very decent here, and we get a Nico's help for aggro DH. Let's wait and see where it's gonna go. And we get a extra spatula for Real here, but unfortunately, no Oxforce, no Renegades from the Forge there. So it's Rabadon stat cap, and we get the Renegade Fiddlesticks. That is a really powerful one.
Yeah, that's extremely good, but he's still in a little bit of a weird spot with 4 Renegade on the go. Does still need to find a Leona in order to get 6 Renegade. what, with 3 HP in a dream, it's all you can do at this time. It's just but to hope and pray. He is playing against the Talia and Set combination here, but he's still in the same situation as he was before. Is that Viego going to be enough to slam through that Set? And, I don't think he's going to be able to. He does have the numbers game, but not anymore. The Set just extremely strong here. Great presence of mind to actually put that many anti-mage items on that Set, as Rio unfortunately goes down at 7th.
Yeah, and with so much AP dominance and magic damage dominance on the meta still, pun intended, Set is still the prime frontline that we have to deal with all of that. And here we have on the other side on Bacon, and Viego comp that was actually far more hit. We get a Kaiser there. We have a 2-star Syndra to pull in more units and keep more people to be killed for the Viego to buy time. So yeah, it seems that Bacon is on a far better spot with the Viego here.
Yep, definitely rocking a counterfeit Mr. 100 build right here. With the Tiny Titans and a 5-game win streak, doing really good here. The Oxforce Mordekaiser doing a really good job to set up. You don't need an Ionic Spark on this Viego comp, especially if you have Mordekaiser. And he tried to go for bounce number 3, gets stuffed in midair by Kaisa. This is actually still a really good spot for the Recons here, just holding out there. And with the carry augment Echo, just pretty much forcing their way through, not exactly Bacon's comp here, and just takes that, resoundingly.
Yeah, and that's one of the tough spots for Viego currently. Not only does he lack a little bit of damage overall, but also the Kaisa comp is really counterish to the Viego. The Recons just jump around and escape. When Kaisa focus fires down on the Viego, she has a really easy time killing him. The Oxforce immunity time doesn't really help that much against the Recons. So yeah, it's a very bad matchup for the Viego in general.
No worries there. And we got I didn't see it before, but the mascot, the Nunu on the end with the Bloodthirster. That's kind of fun to just throw in there, especially if you have nobody else. And of course, the longer it goes, the more damage it does. So it's a nice, decent distraction, but it doesn't seem like it's doing much. But as I say that, the Viego's doing a fair amount of damage on everybody. This is exactly what you want as a Viego, but I don't know if it's enough. It is not, but that was honestly a really good save there from the Viego, surrounded by everybody else, slam dunks everybody, heals himself up numerous times to get him down to just Zed. That was that was pretty awesome to see.
Yeah, pretty close fight there. Zed as the carry with the augment for the Zed as well. Seems to be just a little bit more powerful with the laser corpse drones there helping out as well. And we see what the Tiny Titans and all the HP saving did for Bacon. Lost about 54 health actually so far, and still at 76, really healthy, with 2 people already gone and 1 almost gone. So yeah, pretty much, as we said before, pretty much a guaranteed top 4 just because of that. And we get a Ginso's Slam on the Syndra for more units to pop in from the bench.
Absolutely, as Protroid once told me, and he was exactly right, more attack speed means more mana regen. And he told me to repeat that twice, and I said, okay, cool. More attack speed means more mana regen, and that's exactly what she needs, especially if you're not given the right mana options on the carousel. You might as well just take what you got this late in the game.
Yes, for sure. And on the other side, we get on the last life of Connor dies last. He's definitely not going to die last, but might die now with the Recon. The Kai'Sa is trying to do a job there with the Gunblade, the Rabadon, and Static Shift, but the enemy unit seems just way too much to be killed. The Viego is going to start casting again, kills 3-4 units at the same time. It's just the Kai'Sa now, and doesn't seem like she's going to be enough. It's the win for Bacon. And it's 1 more player gone and 1 more player closer to the top 4 for Bacon.
Absolutely. We see Vor Yardborn putting in some work here, but aggro DH now, 24 HP, still going with that Soraka, but with the Janna here, So I believe the weather's sunny, so it's nothing. I believe sunny's the health shield one. Correct?
Yes,
So,
correct.
yeah, so it doesn't seem like too much of an advantage there for Soraka putting that in, but at the same time, it does give you just slots in Spellslinger. But I believe he misses with that, so he does accidentally miss out Soraka. But it's not the end of the world as we go in against this recon comp once again.
No good Zephyr either on the vein there with no items. The Kai'Sa was safe on the side. Seems the comp is tanking enough though. The Soraka is starting to cast so many stars now, but the D-Claw and the Echo, they're really impossible to kill. Even though we didn't get a 2-star Echo, it's still really, really tanky and really hard to deal with. The Soraka finally kills the Echo, kills the Kai'Sa and the Vayne as well. And we see what the Soraka in the end of the fight can do. Insane star dropping and the multiple kills.
Yeah, that really caught me off guard there. Decides to switch it around this time, so he does shield Soraka. But what a way to bring it back. That's a lot of damage. And of course, the hearts, the more hearts you have, the more AP they regenerate. The AP they build after every spellcast that they do, which is not bad. And of course, I believe it also kicked into overtime, which doubles your ability power. So they were critting for 1100, 1200, 1300 there. So, good stuff to aggro DH, and hopefully they'll be able to keep Soraka long enough that they'll make a top 4.
Yes, exactly. And for our fans watching, remind you that AP generated by the hearts are for the entire comp. So it beefs up your Echo shield, beefs up your Janet damage, beefs up the damage of everyone in the entire comp. Even the Zac there just a little bit. So really, really helpful. Overall, it's just not for the Soraka. And we get now a chalice of power there that is probably going to give just a little bit more AP to the Soraka. Finally, the Echo 2 for Skylar Vice with the Zac 2 as well. Now, I believe that Echo is going to be pretty much impossible to deal with.
Oh, absolutely. Now he's trying to figure out what exactly he wants to put on. There's the Jeweled Gauntlet. There's the Infinity Edge. He puts the Jeweled Gauntlet on the Echo because of the carry-on. Doing more damage there. I'm really curious to see the amount of damage he does simply by that. That's a good play there. And they almost have 6 copies of Rammus. Decides to sell them. Doesn't need them anymore. Almost Fiddle 2, but gets Zephyred on the Kai'Sa, so that's a little bit of a delay of start there. Good distraction by the Fiddlesticks to stun him for a bit, but the Soraka is still going, but it looks like the front line is kind of crumbling a little bit. The Echo still alive, the Cho'Gath still alive, copies of Zax come out. Kai'Sa is just shredding everybody right now, and now it's just them once again, but they disappear in one hit, and now it's just the 2 of them in overtime, and once again, the rain falls down. They're coming clean as he clutches out another one. Aggro DH there, still in a really good spot.
Yeah, Soraka showing how she can clutch so much. The Cho'Gath there, unfortunately, just a tad bit out of range to cut the Soraka mana out and the few more units that were besides her. So didn't help out much. The Echo kind of came back close to the Kai'Sa instead of going on the enemy backline, so didn't deal that much damage to the Soraka. And remember, Soraka heals herself as well for her maximum HP, so keeps herself alive a little bit there, doesn't need a healing item. Really hard to deal with. The Soraka seems to be clutching all the time, and now we get a 1v1 against that Mega Zed on the other side, Maloney.
Yeah, this is nuts right now. He's got good pressure there. That was unreal. I got to talk about that after the game because the Zed is still rolling right now with the Last Whisper, with the Deathblade, with the Edge of Night, goes back out, goes back in, and that was so clean. I wish we had an instant replay, but the way that Zed thwarted Kai'Sa's recon roll out with the ult was devastating for poor Skylar Vice there. It was the one ticket that he needed to get out, and he immediately ulted her as soon as he rolled away. That was just uncanny timing there from the Zed.
Definitely. Zed, one of the the units that can really counter those recons. And now we have a change on the board for Skylar Vice, throwing more Aegis with the Leona and the Alistar as well, trying to counter the enemy's magic damage. And we have 3 people on their last life. Fourier Born with the 9 HP is gonna face off on the next round against Skylar Vice with the 13 HP. One of them is probably going down, and we have the 3-star Choga here hit. Let's see if whether it makes a difference or not, but it's a ghost. It's Fourier Born's ghost.
Yeah, so, Ghost can still do a decent amount of damage. We do have the Sejuani, which I believe has the carry augment, which does more, actually hits the whole screen, so that will be a good job of catching all of the recons off guard. But does it even really matter when you have a Leona with the Arbiter sign on the Zed, just on the set, taking them out? Everybody caving in and taking out the Ghost there. Easy round for Skylar Vice there, and it looks like everybody could possibly still be alive, but Yardborn could be going down here. We got Viego slam dunking everybody here, including the set there, and just gets thrown to the wayside there. Yardborn going down at 5th place.
Yeah, unfortunately, he gets the 5th place, and now we know who our top 4 is. One interesting thing to note for those who, with a quick eye, was how much true damage that Leona dealt. It almost equaled Kai'Sa on the damage on graphs. So yeah, Leona, when she is able to be kept alive and can deal damage on the main enemy tank, she just shreds it down so fast. It can be one of the best units in the game if properly positioned and kept alive.
Absolutely here, and Skylar Vice is so close to that Kai'Sa 3. Gets it in the nick of time. I love that situational awareness. Selling the Ezreal 2 to buy back the Ezreal 1 to get another chance of getting the Kai'Sa 3. That is what we like to see. And now we're putting the Warmogs on Leona, saving another slot for Nyla, maybe another aura item down the road, but let's see how this goes.
Yes, it's a Zephyr that got the Leona, so that might be dangerous, but we got a Shojin on the Shoga. It's going to cut down the mana on the enemy team. The Kai'Sa 3 is here, really safe on the corner. Kai'Sa 3 does so much more damage. Maybe not going to be enough time now for the Soraka to ramp up and kill everyone on the enemy team. Yes, just not possible anymore. Aggro DH, really good job getting here so far, but it's a top 4 where it ends. The Soraka wasn't enough for more than that.
Yep, that's the thing about it. That's a huge difference between the carry augments. Possibly, maybe would have lost a little bit less. Probably still would have been more than enough to take them out. But with the upgrade Berserk, you get those empowered stars no matter what. Past 15 seconds, which just does a lot of damage to everybody. A lot of damage that a lot of comps can't afford here. But now we're trying to switch things up on Zanzazurge here, sending the Urgot back in, but as even I was faked out, switches the horse just in time to try to take out the Kai'Sa 3 once again. But this is Kai'Sa 3 versus compared to Kai'Sa 2. But once again, that interaction does work out for that Zed. That's 2 times in a row now. That's really good awareness, and it really makes a lot of sense what you said on how Zed really does counter these recon comps by keeping them in check, and that was a bit of a blow up. And of course, with Contempt for the Weak, everybody goes fast like it's NASCAR and just catches everybody regardless. So double counter there for Zanzazurge.
Yes, especially with the Zeds, I won't remember the name, of course, but the support augment, which gives the whole team attack speed plus the dashes. The dashes really make a difference there for the clutches against the recons and for the Zed to just keep catching the recons.
Yeah, I believe that one is Contempt for the Weak, the carry one where he takes other people's attack damage as Shadow Jutsu. But as we're over to not exactly Bacon's board, we're in round 7 basically now. We're fighting the Urgot. This is going to be wild. I think it's a low chance, but you might actually be able to see an Ornn item coming out for these players. So that's going to be fun to watch, of course. But, you know, what I want to know is that at the end of round 7, if we somehow get there, which I sincerely doubt, is it a Red Herald or is it just another hero? I always forget.
Yeah, that's a good question. I do not remember. I know I saw a stage 8 game very recently, but I do not remember which was. the end game PvE. But we know here that we get level 9 for Bacon, and so many strong units are going to be found for the Syndra to pull in. And we're possibly looking at a Viego 3 angle here, throwing the Janna there for just a little bit more shield on the front line. And we see whether we get an extra 2-star Viego that is going to be thrown onto the board, 2-star Echo there for the extra MR for the whole team. Now we got a choice on the item, and it goes with the Warmogs to make just a little bit more frontline on that Nunu.
Absolutely. As we see here now, it looks like the Viego got Zephyred, but no problem there. It has a decent amount of mana pool there, but the Fiddlesticks is going around. Skyline's just dropping down on both teams right now. The Zed is still going in hard from Zanzazurge, is just going around, still struggling a little bit there, but it looks like almost more than I actually lied. It's a 2v1 situation. They're not counting the Zags, still cutting in through everybody, and now it's just one hit away, and he got rolled over by the Nunu, as not exactly Bacon clutches that one out.
Yeah, Zed, really powerful comp there from Xenazurge with 3 2-star legendaries on it, but unfortunately the snowball was just too much to deal with. 1-star Nunu did the job, and as you said before, it keeps rolling, it deals more AP as time goes on, and then the Laser Corps drones weren't enough. The snowball just rolled over them. Zed wasn't able to finish up the job. We get plenty of strong units on the board to be pulled by the Stranger as well. And now we go over to Skylar Vice, facing off against the Ghost of Bacon.
Yep. Basically, it doesn't seem too crazy right now. He doesn't have to deal with the Zed. Less time spending with Zed, more times possibly winning here. But still, having a bit of a hard time. Jogs over on a gentle, brisk pace to get away. That was a little bit weird there. The Viego still going, but cut from the Leona ult. It's just, I don't know what to say. It was just dead in the water there as soon as he got that Leona ult on him. So good stuff there. And it looks like we got just top 2 right now.
Yeah.
Was that not exactly Bacon going down at 3rd place?
Yes, exactly. Bacon is gone. The Bacon was fried. It lost both matches at the same time. The Ghost lost, the real Bacon lost as well, and now we get a 1v1 between Xenazurge and Skylar Vice. We get the massive 6 Laser Corp legendaries Zed comp versus the Kai'Sa. Let's see whether the Zed is going to be able to find that Kai'Sa again or not. Positioning is key here, and the Zed is going to jump on the Kai'Sa.
Yep, he accidentally fooled himself. Honestly, you probably might have to ask yourself. He catches the Ezreal, but the Ezreal snitches and goes right into the Kai'Sa and gets deleted. This is unreal right now. Still, Zed at half health, but there's nobody on the team to worry about, and that was one of the quickest last matches I've ever seen in my entire life. Zanzazurge takes game 1.
Yes, awesome game. Insanely played by our guys here. That Zed comp with 2-star Mordekaiser, 2-star Fiddlesticks, 2-star Urgot on the backline as well. Just so hard to deal with. And the Mordekaiser, we know sometimes it can be a troll, sometimes it might not hit really well, but that Skyline just fell perfectly on top of the Kai'Sa, and that comped up with the Zed damage, just impossible to deal with. And the Renegades just got completely countered by that Zed and the dashes.
Absolutely. It was unreal to see. I do really respect Skylar Vice, with the recons getting a 3rd place there. Unfortunately, matchups are a thing, and just ran into the Zed one too many times. One thing I kind of asked myself, would it be a good idea to kind of sneak the Kai'Sa up a little bit closer to the front so that the hacker Zed, would take quite some time to kind of get to them. So, but that's just, that's knowledge for next game just to kind of think about.
Yes, it's a massive positioning difference there. Positioning was key, and just too much to think about it there. But anyways, we are very close to going to the game 4 and last game of the night. So we're going for a quick break for a few minutes, and we will be back very soon.
In a bit.
hey, we are back. It's time for game 4. And as we hear, Maloney, it might be that the players are already in the game and we might jump right in.
Yeah, that's
Things are going
absolutely.
fast.
Yeah, that's absolutely unreal. We'll just worry about the predictions and everything else later. It's just how it is, and sometimes everybody's excited to finish off their games and maybe go over to their friend's house and pet their dogs. That's what I might be doing when I'm done. So, I understand, but the players, please make sure that you cooperate with the tournament organizers and try not to send it by accident too soon. But that's just how it is sometimes. But honestly, I honestly forget who won last. Who won last time?
Yeah, we got the Z comp winning for.
Surge, yeah. So
yes, it was Z Surge with the Z, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was. Okay, so yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, now we're probably jumping into the fourth game, but we saw finally something a little bit different. We were kind of going with the Aces plus the recons, and then we finally get the laser corps. I know you were a fan of. I am a fan of the laser corps. So seeing the Z there, really cool. And yes, with the dash augment especially, really makes a difference. He can catch every single enemy backline unit, even if it jumps away. So really good thing. We even had a admin Mordekaiser there on the front line. Not sure what the admin effect was, but anyways, really, really powerful comp there with legendary units. Managed to get to level 9, and then it's just really hard to counter that.
Oh yeah. All right, as we proceed to give you what you need for Game 4, we have Rio here, and they're already in Stage 2-5. They're really excited to play, as I just said. It seems like we had two true twos on Rio's side. We got, of course, somebody that I haven't seen before. It looks like they might. Oh, Zanza Surge, actually. I lied. It's a little bit hard to see sometimes, but it's no big deal. I just need to get glasses, but then my dad will tell me, why don't you have glasses? No, I'm just too stubborn. But anyways, 74 HP already at 2-5. That's kind of rough to see, but we got the Poppy 2 there. The front line, not too bad right now, but still just trying to figure out what the heck they exactly want to do.
Yes, so we start off with gold augments for everyone, which means the highest likelihood of the next one is a hero augment. Let's see whether that's going to happen or not. Obviously, still a chance of a silver or gold augment as well. And we get 4 Yardborn as the one streaking with 100 HP still, but we keep for now on Riao's screen here. And we get lose streak hard forcing here with the 2 Sennas and the frontline Senna. And it's for sure guaranteed here against Over Chris. It's his name, right?
Yeah, I think so. I believe we did state before one person did magically disappear and not come back, so we do have a random person. There was rumors that it was supposed to be Shy Guy, but as soon as they found out about that, they wanted to start the match without him to have a better chance of getting points. That's just how it is. That's my speculation. That's story time with Mashup right there. But, it's not too bad of a spot. Zanza Surge, the only one with a win streak right now. It seems like they lost the first match and then just went on a 4 streak right after. Or Yardborn unfortunately drops his. It's kind of rough to see sometimes, but it's just how it is in Teamfight Tactics.
Yes, for sure. And now sets up a decent comp there to survive. We see that we had a Sunfire Malphite on the bench just to avoid getting a win, but now it goes on to the Krug, so gonna guarantee here. And as we saw, 4 Yardborn lost his win streak. Xenozurge is the only one keeping on a win streak right now. Lost the first game, but got the next 4 wins. And so now we seem to shape up a little bit more of the comp here with the item drops. What are we going here for, Maloney? It's going to be an AP comp. It's going to be an AD comp.
That's the thing about it. You can honestly go mixed. If you're lucky enough in 5-4 aces, you could slam the Onyx Spark. It seems like what she's planning on doing, possibly, or they're keeping the rod there to maybe find Ginsus on the carousel, maybe. There's a lot that does seem like a bit of a mecha set angle on the go. They do have 3 mechs, but they are they haven't found a set just yet. Then again, it is level 5.
Yeah, but on the other side, we do have a set for Bacon there, and it is with an Eternal Winter plus Declaw. Really hard to kill for the AD units, which are gonna get chilled and eventually stunned as well, frozen as well, and against AP comps as well with the regeneration there, plus the magic resist. So that set is really, really powerful. Bacon finds again a very powerful mid game with the Zac as well, and it's going to be hard to deal with him.
Wow, so we got 2 3s and a 2 cost there. Nothing too crazy for Rio right now. You could get Channel Ferromancy there. The more times you cast, the more armor and magic resistance you get. Extremely fun with the Defender Zoe comp, especially when the Zoe has a blue buff. You just have, at the end of a fight, you see a Zoe with like 300 magic resistance and 300 armor. It's just funny to watch. But
Yeah.
that's the thing. He decides to go for it. Possibly just like a Defender comp. Nothing too wrong with that. Especially with, possibly just having it on the side with the set as well, just granting that extra Defender buff. And it seems like it's the exact same thing for Not Exactly Bacon. Going for that channeled Ferromancy, more casts, more tankiness. Not too bad.
Yeah, for sure. I will be sure to keeping my eye on it because that's not an augment I usually see, but might be really powerful, and I just didn't know about it. I love Triumphant's return for the Riven that we had as an option there. The shield with so much units around, everyone getting so much starting shield based on Riven's health, so it's really good as well. But apparently guaranteeing more defendants here and armor and MR for the whole team with the Rel seems to be the play. And this Rel 2 is obviously doing so much work. It's really hard for 4 yards Born's Sivir to kill anything.
Absolutely. And the rough thing about the Sivir is that, of course, it only targets one person, especially with that pizza. And the pizza doesn't really do much when there's only one person left on the board. But Not Exactly Bacon's team is pretty solid as well. We got the Annie 2-star. We got a Camille to round out the admin. I don't know what the admin trait is, but it's still probably pretty solid. I really like the on kill. The killer heals like 350, especially good for LeBlanc comps. But of course, the when people die gain ability power, too good, extremely good for LeBlanc.
Yes, and we have a very early Samira on the other side for Xenazurge. Has the Senna augment there, very likely to be the one that gives AD to the nearby allies with the Sivir and the Samira getting buffed. Maybe going for a 4 sure shot angle. Has the Mental Confusion augment there for the extra XP to just try to get to level 8 faster and maybe find the Aphelios. To get the 4 sure shots, which then can make all your backline really, really powerful. And it's not only one Samira, it's 2, very close to the third one.
Wow, that's wild. Yeah, Cluttered Mind, extremely good. It was so good that it had to be nerfed numerous times. It used to give you units to help you get to there sooner, but then as soon as they did that, the dev team realized, you're technically being extremely rewarded for hoarding units. You don't have to worry about spending money on your experience points because you're getting an extra 3, I believe, per turn. So you're eating really good for a gold augment. So it's still a really good augment to take, especially if you have a lot of units on your bench already. But as we go over to Bacon's board, we already were at Bacon's board, pardon me, but nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed, just a pair of sets. And interesting to note, we had a spatula on the carousel that absolutely no one wanted. No one took it. So we do not have renegades going around or anything like that this time around. But yeah, now we go over to Xenazurge and the Samiras, very close to level 7 already, getting so much gold. It's already at 52. His econ is massive, but on the other side, we get Riao that already has an Urgot with the Samira as well. Urgot really powerful, pulling the waves, getting you some econ with the chests, plus that massive CC, which brings the entire enemy towards, the entire enemy team towards yours, and a really easy fight for Riao. All the way down there on 8th place with 35 health, but maybe making a bit of a comeback now.
Yeah, definitely do need to stabilize and roll as much as gold as you can in order to save that HP. And it seems like Rio did a solid job of doing that. But now Xanazurge is at level 7 right now. Nothing too crazy. 3 laser corps, 3 sure shots, looking for possibly maybe a thicker front line because you only have 2 brawlers and a renegade up at the front. But right now Xanazurge with the magical percentage 69 HP still has enough HP to kind of ask themselves whether or not if he wants to roll down just yet or save up some money. Let's just only time can tell, really.
Yeah, and for now the choice is to keep the econ up, keep the bench full for the current mine to work, and we get on the opposing side some duelists, some Annie on the front line, but nothing too crazy. Unfortunately, that Vayne is not yet that powerful, and it's an easy win for Xanazurge. Not necessarily the best thing here. He would hope to get that 4 lose streak and keep that econ massively up, but saves up some HP, not that bad.
Yeah, definitely not bad at all. This is what I call, unfortunately, the idiot sandwich win streak, where you have a sandwich of just like a win and then a bunch of losses, but here we go. The Binding Eclipse is now in effect. Aphelios at level 7. That is a really good high roll there for Xanazurge. All they need to do now is to get a front line. They just need to find more mechs, needs to find a set, or just as many beefy units as they find. Speaking of which, Mecha Set is online on Rial's side, just beating up some wolves. These type of comps make it look like they're already in stage 5, but no, we're just going into stage 4 right now. This is insane.
Yeah. That is truly insane. So many legendaries being hit, and we are just getting to the 3rd augment, and people are already with massive endgame boards. Quick question here. Is the Mecha Set really the best frontline for a 4 sure shot comp, considering he's going to be pretty much the only frontline?
I want to say yes, simply because of how obnoxious Gargoyle Stoneplate is on set. The cool thing about defenders is that you don't need 2 defenders. You only need 1 in order for them to still have their innate taunt ability. So if they have a frontline just like this, even if it's just set and there's 4 people surrounding him, those 4 people are going to be taunted by the set, and it all just depends on how much HP he's going to be able to save up. He's got that redemption. He's got the Sunfire Cape to give him a little bit more tankiness, and it's more than enough frontline for them to run over that duelist player.
Yes, perfect. Very good information there. And now we are heading into our 3rd augment of the game, and it's gonna be a drum roll. It's silver. Nothing too crazy for now. We're gonna decide probably a Tips Club here, I would say, unless you want to roll. Recombobulator could be fun. I don't know if it's the best option. You already have so many really good units there, but who knows? You might go crazy.
Rio said, I want to recombobulate so badly. It's not a good idea. But sometimes, because 5 costs can't go up anymore, they don't stay the same. They will technically re-roll. But, you could have a chance, a very slim chance, to get a 2-star 5 cost. But it's just better to go Stand United or Band of Thieves in this situation.
Yes, and we do go with the Band of Thieves. We get the Thieves Gloves on the Orga there with the Warmugs and IE. Not bad. And now let's see where we go from here. Still looking for the set 2 and the Samira 2, but unfortunately, just way too little economy. On the other side, we have the recons for Connor Dylast, and that is really good with the recon Velcos. They're interesting to see that tentacle guy just jumping around if it happens.
Oh yeah, no, that's the cool thing about it. Vel'Koz does provide a decent amount of CC and does more than enough to be a really solid distraction. However, the set is still quite thick, but I think it might be more than enough to take out the set there. They both run away. They stun him with the greatest of ease. It was just an easy win for them. I honestly, I would prefer a Recon Heart instead of Recon Crown, but it's still a good pick up with Recon Vel'Koz.
Yes, and we seem to be getting our random player of the lobby almost going 8th place there, so not stealing any points from anyone on our tournament. And now we get here Zed with an RFC. very uncommon build, but really good. That has the 6 laser corps and the fiddlesticks already. So let's see whether it's going to be able to do work or not. And the Zephyr goes on the enemy Samira. Really good job there by Skylar Vice. And now the Zed jumps in. The RFC not so much in effect with the range there, but at least can't miss any kind of attack. And it's a nice burst of attack speed initially there, and the Zephyr made the difference because the Samira was finally killed there, and it's a very good win against aggro DH.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about it. What I kind of noticed with that is that, like, you know, with that rapid fire cannon, with that Runaan's Hurricane, like, Zed doesn't have to worry about any big frontliners. That even if he's stuck on the frontliners, he's still able to damage the backline with the Runaans, and the fact that he can just kind of stay out of the way and lose aggro with the Edge of Night there. So that's a really solid build with Zed. And, you know, it's even if they have the hacker, you could just not worry about positioning whatsoever. Just shoot him down the middle and you'll just catch whoever.
Yes, and now we get the Mordekaiser for Skylar Vice. No one wanted on the carousel, maybe because it had a spatula on it. Who knows? But it's a nice, decent, a very decent buff for the 6 laser corps here with the fragmentation that it's going to cause, and way better than the Ashe on the front line, obviously. Now, we get a pair of Sennas, so we could still slot in something else there.
So what I'm a little bit confused about is that I forget that augment. I believe that's the one that, like, anybody besides... I thought it was just to the sides. I didn't know if it was touching like that, but I guess what Skylar Vice is trying to do is that it's apparently supposed to give him the buff 2 times, so technically 60% attack damage extra, which is really good. And if that's the case, then, and if he has enough room for it at level 8, might as well try to go for it. I think it might fall off a bit later, but that's not right now.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think that's probably the first time ever I've seen someone using 2 copies of a augmented hero on the board to get 2 times the buff from the augments. But if it works, it works, and the Zed really needs that AD with only attack speed items there.
One that I kind of stumbled across, one person mentioned it, I believe, either on Discord or on Reddit. It also treats the same thing with Silas's Petrocyte chains. So so Silas's Petrocyte chains gives everybody 30 mana, and his next skill, like, mana reach people. But if we have 2, that'll give everybody 60 mana right out the gate. So it's kind of an interesting thing to do, but it's usually unoptimal, so a lot of people don't go for it. But if you have enough room, that's when, you know, if you have nothing else for it, might as well.
Makes sense. And now we get Riao on the other side with that Urgot. Unfortunately, the wave was not decent, didn't catch anyone on the enemy team. Both sets are fighting off each other, but it seems that Riao's comp is just a tad bit more tanky. 4 sure shots against 2 on the other side, but the 2 will win because or maybe they won't. That was actually a very close fight, but Riao ends up losing and caught me off guard there, but I thought that the other side was going to win.
No worries. Yeah, that kind of caught me off guard a little bit too, but it just seemed that, like, the Samira was already kind of bleeding near the end and just got one last shot in against the other Samira. But that's the thing about it, when 2 people play the same comps together, it's a little bit hard to tell sometimes. But still, 19 HP, not in the great spot here. Vor Yardborn, even in worse spot, in the single digits, 7th place right now. Not the greatest spot to be in, but that's just how it is, especially in these type of leagues. AML is no joke for sure. It's definitely something you know, even in the regular season, you know, you're fighting for your life out there.
Yes, definitely. And now we get a choice for our last component. Are we going to build something on someone with that belt, or we just want the Samira for the Giant Slayer? Probably the Samira is the best option. We find Aphelios here, so we get an option to go for 4 sure shots here too, or maybe just drop out the Senna and change into something else. Finally, the 2-star Samira is hit with the Giant Slayer. So much more powerful now. It's still a 1-star set, but it really does the job there. And now we get an All-Star ring for the Ox Force buff.
That's not too bad there. It gives Aphelios a little bit more survivability along with the Alistair, but the tidal wave coming in hot barely hits anybody there, but does get a vest to put in a Sunfire Cape to slam on the Rel. That's kind of big brain there and kind of clutch at the same time, but it just seems like nothing's really moving right now. Nobody's giving anybody any hard time there. Both actually the set and the Rel is tanking. The longer the other team stays alive, the more magic resistance and armor that they have, but it doesn't really matter. And not exactly Bacon goes down a fair bit.
Yes, and we get a big predominance of Samiras on this lobby, which is pretty interesting. Everyone contesting each other. I'm curious about this Orgat positioning. You know, I tend to play him very much in the middle, so I guarantee at least some 3-4 hits there on the wave. Playing him on the side risks not getting anyone, which is the case that we're seeing there. Maybe losing out on some econ or even some drops of components that could be getting. And now we see another Orgat being played here, but a very unorthodox comp with the Samira sided with a Soraka there, and the two-star Soraka got Zephyred.
Yeah, sometimes you just play with what you have, and sometimes it's not the greatest. Not exactly Bacon. It looked like potentially... I'm still just trying to wrap my head around this. They only have 5 defenders on the board. Maybe they're looking for one more. They're in the really awkward situation that they're most likely looking for a one-cost defender to get them up to 6 defenders there. So they're just probably foregoing for it. Set hanging on for a dear life, clutches it out against Skylar Weiss there.
Yes, and this time around, Zanazurge doesn't seem to be having such a good luck. Already on 4 HP, almost dying, and is next possibly on the scout for our player Bacon here. Bacon really good with the 5 defendants there. Doesn't really have a way to trade any of them out. Doesn't have really much of a way to throw a poppy in either. So gonna really stick with the 5 defenders. And now we have a 1v1 between Zanazurge and Bacon.
Ooh, this is going to be rough. Both people shooting things at each other on both opposite sides there. But I feel like if I had to give somebody the firepower onus, it would be Zanazurge right now, especially with the Deathblade on the Senna. Could possibly target right through. But as soon as I say that, nothing matters. Their front line was just too much to deal with. And Zanazurge goes down at -13, a 6th place there. Not the best thing that you'd want to see, but that's just how it is sometimes.
Yes, it just so it happens that Bacon has a very key thing here against a lobby that is very heavily AD, playing a set with 4 defendant buff plus Eternal Winter, which slows down the attack speed from the enemy AD unit. So just got the best frontline possible he could against an AD lobby. That set might not be as powerful against an AP lobby, but in an AD one, it's really doing the job.
Definitely. So we got here Skylar Weiss with the 7 Laser Corps there, trying to find maybe one more. Finds himself another copy of Mordekaiser, puts the Laser Corps. Wow, the Laser Corps Archangel Staff Fiddle 2 in the back. So it seems like a interesting assault helicopter. There actually, I forget what it's called, but there was a 9 what is it called? The 9 Laser Corps Blitz Tank, Blitzcrank variant. And I forget what it was called, but basically they stall out with the Laser Corps and they just do a lot of damage just with the passive drones. Anyways.
Yeah, makes sense. Let's see how much this Fiddle is going to do. It's obviously going to stay there in the backline. 4 labs to come in, dealing a lot of AoE damage, plus some drones on the auto attacks. Zed is doing so much work that the Fiddle almost didn't even have to cast, but now it's in. It's an easy win. It's a Fiddle sticks with like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 drones around him. It's just insane. I counted 8 there, but that's
yeah.
Yes, it is.
Wait, yeah, it is 8. Wow, that's weird. I realized there's only 7 Laser Corps being accounted for, but we always tend to forget about the second Senna clone there.
Yeah.
So that's just how it is. But you know, they got 7 copies of Senna.
Zanazurge is gone.
Yeah, that's true. I meant to say Senna instead of Xana.
Yes, and now with the preliminary vision there, we know that Real is next on our scout here. Skylar Vice going against Real, possibly ending Real's play on this lobby. Who knows? But it's actually the Ghost.
Yeah, so it's not too bad there. We do got the Samira Zephyr'd, and Skyline's dropping down here. We got the set, hanging on for dear life, but the Zed has snuck in from behind. The Fiddlesticks just T-posing just in the corner, waiting for his time to come. But there might be a good chance that it doesn't. But still, that's 3 Sunfire Capes on the side for what seems to be, was that Rio's team? But
yes,
it's unreal. Fiddlesticks still not needed there as he just clutches out that ghost round by Skylar Vice. That's just kind of hilarious.
Yeah, Fiddlesticks didn't even need to cast, and now we go over to Real, who is 100% definitely on the last life, 3 HP, hoping to maybe sneak it in a top 4 there, but it seems really hard. The 3 Sunfire Capes are doing some work there with the true damage and the anti-healing, but just a tad bit over on those items. Unfortunately, you play what you get, as you have said before a few times, and now that Samir is trying. It's really, really trying. And it's a very decent comp. It just seems that the rest of the lobby is a little bit even stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. I do like the gunblade on the Samira to give more health to the set or any person that's low on health, which is pretty solid. But as you stated, it's just the lobby is just super strong right now. You got Skylar Vice's comp, you got Aggro DH not doing too bad. You got one of the Kaisa players. Is that the the not exact? No, that's Connor dies last. Pardon me. I always forget about him. That's my fault. But yeah, Connor's die last is doing pretty solid at 24 HP. But and then you got not exactly Bacon, but the Vel'Koz 3-star from Connor dies last, and you get the random Infinity Edge on, not random but per se, but the good Infinity Edge on the Aphelios.
Yeah, and now we get Connor dies. Connor with the Vel'Koz 3 just hit. It's gonna make even harder for the Samira set comp to survive. The Ramos is already here on the backline. Samira taking a lot of AoE damage. Vel'Koz starts killing things as fast as he can. The Kaisa dealing so much damage with the Static Shiv as well. The set tries to be tanky, but unfortunately it's not gonna happen. And it's the end for Real here, taking the 5th place. Connor hit a lot of things just before facing off against Real. Just too bad it happens. But 5th place here, not that bad.
Absolutely not. Sometimes you're just kind of frustrated that, you're not getting everything that you need, but you still end up getting 5th. That is still pretty good. It's kind of cute that Skylar Vice forgot to whip out the item forge. There we go. Still in a really good spot. Infinity Edge, Morella Namicon wouldn't be too bad. Not the greatest items, to be honest with you, but still it's a 6 laser corp or 7 laser corp fiddle, with the Zed as well. That's just disgusting. Just shredded through that front line, still stuck on the front line though. The Recon's ganging up on him. The Zed goes down there, and the Fiddlesticks is forced to play with all the lasers coming in along with it, but it's not enough. Just took too long to get to the backline that could have just easily ran away from. So Skylar Vice takes a pretty rough hit there.
Yeah, the thing I gotta say here that bothered me just a little bit was the Morellos on the Fiddlesticks. Maybe I would wanted it on the Kaiser or the Sejuani, just because since it's a backline Fiddle, it's gonna take so much time to jump in and apply that anti-healing. I would much prefer having that anti-healing early on in the fight, especially now with the 2-star Sejuani that is definitely gonna cast at least once. But yeah, we get the Fiddle with the Morello there. It tries to do some damage, but unfortunately against the Recons, it got bursted down. And we are rolling after a 3-star set here for Bacon, but unfortunately it didn't come up. It sold the set, didn't get anything, and now it's the Zed on the other side.
Yep, so unfortunate Zephyr there for the Samira going up against Skylar Vice's Laser Corps team. Honestly, I felt like they could have possibly item removed the Morellos off the Fiddlesticks and onto the Sejuani, but what do I know? The set still doing a unrealistic amount of work there. I just did not. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. I thought he was already gone, but he's taking out this Fiddlesticks there. But this is the slowest match I've ever seen in my entire life, and Skylar Vice still hangs on.
Yes, and Aggro DH goes down, takes the 4th place. We keep watching Bacon here, and now we have him and Vice on the last life. Connor dies last, might actually die last this time, or even not die, taking the 1st place there with 24 HP, still relatively healthy, two effective lives left for him. It's interesting that the Morello is on the Fiddlesticks there, so it takes a long time to apply. The Zephyr, even though he knows exactly who he's going against, not really being moved because you want because it's on the Senna and you want the 2 Sennas always at the same place with the Zeds. So not much usage for those 2 items there, but still a really strong comp and might get at least a top 2 here.
Definitely, for sure. I am a little bit surprised with these Zeeks on the Samira, but at the same time, let's be real here. There's not really much you could do, but an unfortunate miss switch. Tried to switch over the Soraka, but just ran out of time here. And that's going to be really interesting for the Zed to possibly sneak past here. And once he gets rid of that Zed, he's gunning straight for Samira. If he's able to, be able to get through that Zed, which is unfortunate right now. Winding up another big old punch there, and it's up to the Fiddlesticks once again. But he's not dealing with recons anymore. He's dealing with just Set. But it might be just like last time, Black P, that, he was able to take out everybody else, but not what he needed to take out the most.
Yeah, unfortunately, D-Claw plus Redemption, really, really strong against AP. Fido is AP. The drones are AP as well, so impossible to deal damage, and the Set just gets the win there, gets the clutch win. Skylar Vice goes down, takes 3rd place. Connor lost the last round, so we have the last, for sure, 1v1 here between Connor and Bacon. For the top 1, one of them is definitely going down, the other is going to survive. This Soraka plus Set comp isn't really looking like the strongest thing in the world, but it did an insane job here, and now Connor hits the Kaisa 3 before the very last round.
Yeah, this is pretty much just a wrap right now. It doesn't really matter how long he's going to survive. I firmly believe that the Vel'Koz is going to pretty much freeze whatever carry tries to take down his team. Actually focuses down on the Set. They're set down at half there. Both carries are still strong in the back line, but the Set is still eventually going to go down. The Fiddlesticks goes in right between the back line, gets shut down immediately, and here it comes there. The Set's still hanging on for dear life with the Dragon Claw, and it actually might be GG's, not exactly Bacon, actually takes out Connor dies last there.
Wow. Yeah, and insane game here by Bacon. Completely unexpected comp. Really good annotation there with the Zed, because the 4 defendants and the Eternal Winter was really helpful against the whole AD lobby, as I said before. But as Soraka completely throwing us off there, not to be expected in a comp like that. But it actually did the work. It did the trick. It killed the recons. It did everything. So yeah, all hail Soraka.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting with that comp where, Soraka's 3rd hit just coincidentally aligns with the infuse every single time. So it's just like, it gives her a decent amount of AP. Sure, it's definitely not as good as Blue Buff, but definitely still does a decent amount of work. And of course, I really like the synergy with the Static Shiv, reducing the magic resistance so that the infuse hits harder. So the Starfall, I mean. So it's I really like that combination there. I'm just still surprised that stall comp worked.
Yeah, it worked really well. Stall comp is really the name of the game. Top 1 for Bacon. Insane games here. This was the 4th game and last game of this night. Maloney casting 4 games tonight. I know that was really hard, but really done well. Yes, you deserve that tap on the back for sure.
Yeah, appreciate it. No, it's fun. I really do enjoy commentating for Aegis Esports TFT, and it's just fun to do things. It's fun to get the experience. It's fun to actually learn. You know, I'm kind of stuck a little bit in Diamond 4, so right now I kind of fell from Diamond 2, so you know I get to learn a lot from these players, and of course I'll be able to learn from the Champions League players tomorrow, in which they start, I believe, once again at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. But before we go, we're going to go through the predictions again just one more time, and then we'll get that set up. And let's see how it is, Black P.
Yeah, so Lawrence is up to 6 points here. The staff with 8, the community with 11, and us casters with just 1 point more on 12 there. Not so much hits on the exact placements or even top 4s, but as far as the score goes, that's our points, and the casters are winning right now, Maloney.
Yeah, so, you know, looking at it right now, I believe that we got Skylar Weiss right. Fortunately, Gaga Mal was unable to make it, so they were replaced by 2 random hooligans, Scrappy Doo, and that one person that went Oxforce Kaisa, which was kind of late. There was rumors, as I said, once again, Shy Guy was going to try to join in, but unfortunately, they already sent that second game for stream, so he wasn't able to join. You know, you could make a little theory about that they were too scared dealing with the previous AML winner, so who knows.
Yes, who knows, definitely would be a very hard matchup to go against. But yeah, that's it for our predictions for the Lobby 2. Casters got the win, and yes, Maloney, I guess that's it for the night, right?
Yep, that is. I just want to thank everybody so much for tuning in, and of course, ACL starts tomorrow again for week 2, 3:30 EST. Don't miss out on that. We're gonna have some heavy hitters as well. So, you know, once again, my name's Mashup Maloney. That's Sir Black P. Thank you so much for tuning in, and y'all have a good night.
Thank y'all. Good night.
Your lips are stained with fiction. You always have your reasons, and I spoil you rotten.